Hey guys, ajorsini here, and just before you guys listen to the episode, I think I needed to put a disclaimer up just really quickly. We did the show last night very live, and during the conversion of that MP3, we lost a couple of minutes in the beginning. It's an unfortunate situation, but we're going to make the best of this. It's still a great show. We still have an hour and 53 minutes of the show. You guys only really missed the first couple of minutes. You really didn't miss anything. It's just my usual opening, and I introduce a special guest co-host, Mr. Stephen James. Joined me. He worked the boards for me, got the calls together. It was a really fun show. He's with me throughout the entire thing. That's really all you missed. Right after my intro, you're going to hear me go right into the conversation as opposed to hearing my usual opening. So I just wanted to throw this disclaimer out there. There's still a lot of show left. If you didn't get a chance to listen to it live, unfortunately, you won't be able to hear my opening. If you did, I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you who didn't get a chance to listen to the live show or call in, it's okay. You could still be a part of the show down the line. You can shoot me a message on Facebook. You can email me directly, ajorsini96host@gmail.com. There are many methods in which you guys can still be a part of the show. So I just wanted to put this disclaimer on just to let you guys know before we get started. It's going to start off a little weird, but the whole show's here. It's still the whole show. You're just missing my intro and my introduction of my partner, and that's about it. So enjoy the show. I hope you guys enjoy. It's definitely one of my better shows, so I'm super psyched. Hope to hear back some feedback from you guys about it. So have a good one. Warning. The following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on the show are reflective of AJ Orsini and his guests exclusively. But seriously, guys, the show's called Uncensored. If you got a problem with bad language, I really don't give a shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, the answer to your prayers is here.
You're listening to the King of New York, EC Negro, El Rey, all day.
This is Colossal Mike Law.
What's up, everybody? This is the rock god, Ronnie Burton.
My name is Ariella Nix.
You're listening to the absolute Chris Cage.
To the superstar Whiplash.
Silver Queen Ivy Roman.
And for the King of Monsters Rays, we are the greatest of all time.
And you're listening to...
And you, yes you, are listening to our...
And you are listening to the hottest new podcast in the game.
My main man, AJ Orsini. Orsini.
To Orsini's.
To Orsini's.
Orsini's.
And you're listening to Orsini's Uncensored Mind. Now let's open up this fucking pit.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and now your host, AJ Orsini.
Home watching Little O, but she said something to me the other day that made me think, because I was trying to come up with how the hell do I open up the 1 year anniversary show? What do I talk about? Do I go balls deep right into the wrestling stuff? Do I talk about UFC? Do I talk about all this, the Jaguars are going to London type stuff? I mean, there's so many things to talk about, and there's so many things to get to, but to me, there was no greater way to start this show off than to talk to my audience about that conversation. We had a conversation with Mrs. O, and the conversation was that she was very proud of me, obviously. She was going on all the different things that we've been through together, and me with Al. For those of you who don't know, I've been with my wife for 15 years.
Wow.
When she was 18 and I was 20, we're now 35 and 33. So the whole 20s, we spent all the time, all that stuff was with each other. She knows me better than anybody else, and she told me that, because I wanted her to be here for the show, and she had a concern. And the reason why she had a concern is that for the whole time that I've been doing this show, she's been trying really hard not to be a part of the process. And the reason for that is because everything that I have done literally in my entire life, 35 years on this planet, folks, from moment one to now, all I have ever done is stuff for other people. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. I was raised in a single mom house. So obviously I was dad, I was older brother, I was provider, I was everything for a long time. When I left my house to go do my own thing, I didn't do my own thing for very long because literally the week that I moved out, I met Steph. So it became, a relationship thing, and we grew together, like I said, 18 and 20 to 30. You go through some growing pains. There's some growing things there. So everything that I've ever done now is for her. And now I have a son, so now I'm a father, so everything I do for him. I work with children for the most part. I know my vernacular and my language will give you a different impression, but I actually do work not only with children, but with special education children, children with disabilities. This is something that I feel very passionately about, that I've done for a long time now. I dabble in a lot of things, but the whole point I'm trying to get to here is that everything that I do, everything that I am, has always been about the other person. So my wife, who knows all of that, who knows that whole story, said, I really want, especially in the wrestling business, I'm not even going to get into my career and everything else with the wrestling business, because when there was a commentator, it's put over the match, not yourself. When I was a ring announcer, put over the talent, not yourself. When I was a interviewer, put over the talent, not yourself. When I was a booker, don't put yourself over, put everybody else over. When I was a manager, it's not about you, it's about, when I was a wrestler, it was put over the other guy. Yeah. Every facet of it in my career has always been to help the other guy. So over time, most people would reject it and would eventually get to a point where they're just going to say to themselves, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do me. I never got to that point. As a matter of fact, I still feel uncomfortable with it. I don't know what it's like to do for me. So what happened was my wife had described to me that I really don't want to be a part of the Orsini Uncensored Mind process, because for once, finally, this is you. It's you, it's a microphone, it's your thoughts, it's your opinions. And even though, like you said earlier, but before we got on the air, that it was a really cool thing to have her as my first guest, she doesn't mind being every now and then, but like for big events like this, she really felt like it should have been either just me or she knew you were going to be on the show. Yeah. She's totally cool with you doing the show, but she wanted the project Orsini's Uncensored Mind to just be about me.
It's a celebration of you.
Right. It's a celebration of me. It's a lot of hard work put into this. I'm the only one that puts the stuff together, with the exception of the few times that you've collected some audio clips for me. You've helped me out with some editing along the way. I'm telling you, you're a big part of a lot of the stuff that's been going on here. But she really wanted this to be kind of an Orsini production. She wanted this to be about me. So what I want to open the show with is an acknowledgement to what she said. I agree with what she said to a degree, but I want a counter argument. That's what we're going to open the show with, because the bottom line is to me is I think personally it's impossible to be successful alone. I cannot do this by myself. I have achieved what I have achieved in my life and in my career because I cared for other people. I wasn't the best wrestler in the world, but I did it in a way that I gained enough respect where people decided to take me into other directions. My body couldn't hold up to the beating that is pro wrestling. That's why I have such a profound respect for the guys who do it every fucking day. And that's why when I say things like, if you've never bumped, you don't really know. A lot of people take offense to that. But to me, it's the God honest truth. Unless you're a part of the fret, unless you've spilt the blood, unless you've shed the tears, unless you sweat, you don't really know what you're talking about. That's just, in my opinion, that's the truth of it. So the way that I go about all facets of my life is, how can I help the next person? And I've learned over time, now that in my 30s, I've learned over time, every single time that I've gone out of my way to help the next person, I got something from that. Whether it be experience or I learned something from it that I can use in something else. It's the same thing I did with wrestling. In wrestling, I never put myself over. I would argue when I would walk in and the sheet says that I'm going up. I'd fight. Because I'd be like, why? Yeah. What is the point? Am I going to eventually compete for the championship? Am I going into a high-profile feud? No. So then what the fuck am I beating him for?
Doesn't make any sense.
He's the guy you want to make the face of the company or use in a more important facet. So why am I beating him? Like, stuff like that. And promoters would actually get mad at me, like, what the fuck do you care? You're winning. No.
That's not
why
the point.
am I winning? Right.
Yeah.
That's not the fucking point. If I'm going to be used in something else, cool, whatever. We'll go in there, we'll make it a competitive match, I'll go over barely, and then I'll move on to the next fucking thing. To beat him for absolutely no reason. So I used to fight a lot of times, no, I'm supposed to be losing here. Just so you're aware. So
this makes no sense.
Exactly. And it went the same way when I was on the other side of it, when I was booking, when I was writing matches out, when I was putting things together for for the performers. When I gave them their information, I never got questions. You know why I never got questions? Because I explained it thoroughly.
Yeah.
They
understood.
Right,
they trusted
you're
you.
going over here because you're going here. You're losing tonight here, but don't worry. In 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, you're going up here and eventually you're going to clash again and it's going to mean more the second time around or whatever the situation may be. I had a reason for everything. So I learned this over time by helping other people. I never just went in there and just thought to myself I knew what to do. Most people, they get to a certain spot in their career, all of a sudden they have to play the role of somebody who knows everything.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I helped you get into the wrestling
Absolutely.
business. So in the usual tiering of how this works is I'm above you. But that's not how I treated you. I came back and said, you know what? I'm trying to dabble into a new world in which you are above me.
Yes.
Help me figure out where I'm supposed to go with this. I wound up, Podbean was not a suggestion of yours, but your suggestions led me to figure out what I needed and what I liked and what I was trying to get into. That's how I settled on that. My equipment, we were going back and forth, the board, all that stuff. How can I do interviews? How can I do that? How can I? And we went back and forth. I'm not considering myself a podcast master at the moment.
Oh, you're getting there, bud.
But I'm getting there, right? That's what I'm
Getting
saying. With time, with years in, we'll figure that out. But I wanted everyone to know that I'm not here today because I am celebrating. No, I'm not here today because I did this by myself. So it is a celebration of Orsini's Uncensored Mind, the show. It's not a celebration, in my opinion, of AJ Orsini, because in my opinion, AJ Orsini shouldn't be celebrated by himself. Everything that I've done has been with a team, regardless of who that team member was. I've always had people around me, the authentic Brandon Lewis, Matt Ryan, someone that you know you're very familiar with. Pete Rodriguez is another guy that I've been. My wife, of course. I've had people outside of the wrestling industry. People think I'm joking when I say this, but you've seen me have conversations with the AR Foxes of the world, and Matt seen me have the conversations with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Mick Foley, and picking their brain and trying to figure out what's next, what's the next thing for me to do. So it all landed on this. It all landed on, if you look at my Podbean account, ajoum.podbean.com, which is where all the episodes air every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. I'm going to do the plugging later, but I just felt the need to say it now. If you go there now, it'll tell you that my account's been active since January of 2016.
Wow.
But I uploaded my first episode October 2017, which means it sat there for forever because I wasn't sure if this was something I could do.
And you had said in episode 1 you were also worried about kind of getting lost in the shuffle.
Yes, it was a big concern of mine because everyone has a podcast, or at least it seems that way, that everybody has a podcast. So it's very intimidating for someone, regardless of your experience, and even if you know what you're talking about, it's very intimidating for someone to get in front of this microphone and be as vulnerable as you are when you first start. But what got me over the hump, what got me over the fear of what happens if they don't like me, or what happens if I'm saying a bunch of things that somebody else is repeating. What I found out over time is that you can only be you. No one can be you. Absolutely not. You're the only version of yourself. So even though everyone has a podcast, the truth is not everyone's heard. Not every podcast gets downloaded. Not every podcast gets shared. Everyone can start one. Not everyone has a successful one. That's the difference. If you can generate enough interest and get to where you're going, then it becomes a much better process. As a matter of fact, we're going to celebrate that fact right now because I'm not even that deep yet. I already have a call, and I'd like to get to said call. Mr. James, who is calling me here right now?
We don't have the ability to screen who.
No, I'm asking. Are they on the air right now?
They're on the air right now.
Okay,
we got them.
there's the question. Who's calling
Hello?
right now? Yes, who's this?
My name is Matthew Marcus Ming.
I knew he was going to call. I didn't think he'd be first, but I knew he was going to call. What's going on, Ming?
How you doing? I'm here to celebrate your success. And
did you not just fucking hear what I just said? It's the success of the show. Are you not listening, Ming? Are you drunk?
No, I just called in, man.
Oh, okay. Are you drinking in spirit? Are you taking a swig for the working man?
No, I'm actually at work looking for thieves.
Oh, there you go. You know what? You're the face of criminal prevention right now. I want you to know that.
Yeah. I'm multitasking right now.
Oh, Well, you know what? If any criminals get by during this phone call, I'll take full credit for that. Full blame, I should say. Full blame. Not credit. I'm not in on the heist. I'm just part of the reason they got away with it.
Future wheelman of America.
So what's going on, Ming? How can I help you, man? What's going on?
No, man. What are you guys talking about today?
We've got a couple of topics coming up. I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest about the celebration of the actual show, but I got a couple of topics. It's a matter of fact. Is this the only call we have at the moment, or we have
at the moment? This is all we got.
Okay, so Ming, why don't you join the conversation on this, because we're gonna open up with a little UFC action. Okay, Conor McGregor and the Russian guy.
The Russian guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to call him because that last name is impossible for me to pronounce. And apparently I was saying his first name wrong. Is it Khabib?
It's Khabib, from what I understand.
Khabib.
Just call him Ivan Drago. It's about...
Well, that's racist. I don't promote that activity on my show. Anyway, Drago fight Conor McGregor on Saturday, October 6th. Did you get a chance to see the fight, Ming?
Yes, I saw it illegally.
You saw it illegally, as did probably 30% of this country at least, and I'm just spitballing, which is unfair to the UFC. But did you get a chance to see the? Well, before we get to the afterwards, what did you think of the fight itself?
I think UFC's a work. I think that was all a work. I don't believe any of that was real. I think it was all staged. I don't believe it.
The entire fight? Like they were calling spots?
I don't think the entire fight was staged.
Okay.
But I think the aftermath was set up in prior.
Well, we're not getting to the aftermath yet. Talk to me about the fight. What did you think about the fight?
The fight was pretty good. That guy,
the Russian guy.
he's never gone that long as far as like rounds. He's never been to the fourth round.
Okay.
So the fact that McGregor got him to the fourth round I think is a victory to him. But that guy's a beast.
That guy
and
is.
I can't wait for the rematch.
James, do you consider an undefeated fighter winning an upset?
In this case, yes, I do, because the quality of opponents for Khabib has definitely been brought into question leading up to this.
Right.
So my thing is Conor McGregor is the biggest star in mixed martial arts.
Right.
He's the guy that you have to beat. He's the guy who makes the most money. He's the guy who draws. So if you beat him, it's going to be an upset. He's the most recognizable face there.
Right.
But, the technique, a lot of the experts, quote unquote, predicted that Khabib would win. But anybody with a puncher's chance. And you saw, as long as the stand-up was there, even though Khabib surprised him with his stand-up, Conor was kind of taking him to the deep water. The worry was that his conditioning wasn't there, but it was. So I'm intrigued to see, like Ming said, I am intrigued to see the rematch if it happens.
Ming, for those who didn't get a chance to see the fight on October 6th, can you, as colorfully as possible, describe what took place after the fight was immediately over?
Well, he tapped him out and immediately started talking shit to him while, McGregor was gasping for air. And then I guess somebody on the outside, in Conor's corner said something, and the guy literally leaped over the...
He was looking for a gentleman by the name of Dylan Danes.
Yeah, he leaped over the octagon and tried to give him the Finn Balor finisher.
He saved that special after the chokeout?
Yeah, he saved that finisher. Like he didn't pull he had two locked up in the bank and he only hit one. And he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this, and that's what he did. And then the only thing I didn't like, I thought it was kind of pussy. If it is real, I don't know. I'm still believing that it was all work. That his corner attacked McGregor while he's like down.
I was going to mention that when you were done. Yeah, it wasn't a one-way street there.
No.
The Russian team also took offense to the words of Conor. I guess when he went over the fence, that left Conor open to some sort of content there.
Yeah, that was kind of pussy. If that's real, that was kind of pussy, and I think that guy should get fired.
Well, the overall situation here, for those of you who don't follow the UFC, and believe me, I have said on the show before, I'm not really a big UFC guy, but there's been a lot of comparisons to UFC to WWE recently, so I started dabbling into what this whole situation was. And for those of you who don't follow, there was a situation, James, maybe you know a little something about this, in a pulley truck and a bus.
Yeah, it was...
here in Brooklyn. Well, not here. I'm in Jersey. I keep forgetting that I'm not in the House of O tonight. I'm in New Jersey.
It originally started with Khabib and some of his teammates cornering a friend of Conor's for an interview. And there was about 15 or 20 guys that were trying to intimidate him, talk. So that's where the issue kind of started.
One took a swipe.
Yeah. Conor McGregor obviously took offense, caught a flight
from Ireland to Brooklyn to come kick this guy's ass, right?
Threw a dolly into a window of a charter bus.
Yeah, actually cut some people up.
And caused one of the fighters to have to miss his fight.
Which is what pissed off Khabib in the first place.
Indeed.
Which, it's funny because Dana White comes out here and he seems all pissed off. And why wouldn't you be? But that footage you just described was used in the promotional package for the fucking fight.
Yeah.
So if you're going to use the material to make a little money, exactly. All right. Yeah, exactly. It's I'm not going to sit here and confirm work But I mean, the comparisons you hear all the time is what WWE used to be.
Yeah.
Or it's what pro wrestling used to be. where
Blur
you
the line.
Blur the line a little bit. Yeah. I mean, they're doing promotional packages. They're doing entrances now. It's a whole.
I bet McGregor standing in that New York courtroom didn't think it was a word.
Well, no. I mean, there's some situation, but see, that's the thing. You brought up a very good point because remember back in the territorial days, a lot of the wrestlers would go to court for shit like this.
Yeah,
remember they
you're
would
right.
actually go, and the promoter would pay the fee.
Yeah.
Just to keep that
Just to
line
keep
going,
it,
just to keep that kayfabe alive. A lot of these guys would go to court. There's a lot of court cases. If you go to the Jim Cornette Experience, he'll tell you there's a lot of court cases that were brought to the desk of Mr. Crockett that he had to go ahead and take care of. So I don't let the court case sway me from this.
Fair.
You're not going to work me, buddy. Not at all. Ming, thank you so much for giving me a call, man. Thanks for hooking me up and looking out for me, bro.
No problem, man.
All right, that was Matty Ming. You guys have heard him on the show before. He's a good friend of mine. He's done a few of the roundtables. We did a topic of 30 questions with him as well. Like, he's been on here a few times. Now, for two reasons. I already mentioned the first one. He's my friend. And second, he doesn't live too fucking far from me in Brooklyn.
Nice.
So whenever I'm feeling chatty and I want a buddy on my show, I usually tend to call Matty. So
The House of O.
over to the House of O.
Now,
yeah.
is that a reference to House of M, the Marvel comic book? Where did you come up with that? Like, where did that sort of thing?
It's a reference from the comic book. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
What happened was we started talking. I was talking to my family members about the show. Some of them had listened and all that stuff, and we were going back and forth on different things. They were like, "You really need to start incorporating more of a brand." I guess it was. They were like, like something that we could follow, and like these different shows do all these different gimmicks. Some of my favorite shows, like How I Met Your Mother, has like those long-standing jokes that come out throughout the whole thing. I'm a big fan of Last Week Tonight. We keep coming back for all those. He's a DeWalt man. Werner's a pure shit. Like that type of
rewarding people for listening and watching.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So what happened was that I figured because the nickname that always started sticking with me throughout my career was O. And that was the Chris Cage original. He was do the whole old thing in my original interview days. So he would be like, "Well, let me tell you something, oh." Like he would try to do like a whole Hulk Hogan thing. We were just fucking around.
Yeah.
But O stuck. So everyone just started calling me O. So when we started trying to come up with different ideas for a catchphrase, you don't want to create a catchphrase, but at the same time, like you want to put some thought into it. And believe it or not, we were watching the Avengers in my house, and I started talking to my wife about different Avengers storylines, and we were drunk, just all kinds of shit. And I had mentioned the House of O. I said, man, see, I just did it right there. The House of M.
It's become yours now.
I was like, yeah. I said, man, that would be a dope movie, House of M. That'd be pretty cool. And then I slept on it, and I woke up the next day in House of O. It was just in my head. I was like, oh, we're here in the House of O. I was just fucking around. And then I did it on the show, and it came out so smooth. And I was just, but then like my brother said, it got out of control because then he was the brother of O, and there was Mrs. O, and then there was Little O, and I was like, nah, man, O is the brand.
It's the
baby.
O. It's the O universe.
It's the universe of O.
Universe of O. There you go. It just spreads out.
It's a continuous process, man. I've been wanting to get you on the show for a long time. We've had conversations a few times about doing the show together because you got so many different projects coming along too, and you've been doing this a long time. We're currently here in New Jersey. This is your backyard here, and I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
Okay, Benjamin Franklin.
That actually might be the answer. Don't fuck around with me. I'll figure out a question. I will figure out a question that fits to that answer. But you said earlier that I'd gotten you into the business. Obviously, there was some history before you got to me as far as interest.
Yeah.
You've been a wrestling fan
since 6 years old. My grandmother, as an Italian immigrant, who did she love? Bruno Sammartino.
There you go.
So sat me on the knee, watched me all those tapes, Superstars, all that stuff. So yeah, that's where it started.
That was the start of your fandom. When did you get the interest to actually perform in it and do something inside the business? Well, was wrestler ever an option for you, or you were just
I had just gotten out of the military, so my body was already that has a bump card as well.
Yes, it does.
I cashed in my bump card there. But yeah, honestly, the interest was always there, but the business, while it is less protected than it used to be, the people that I associated with in the wrestling business still took it very seriously. They protect, like yourself, like Matt. And when originally I was running a radio station myself, and then Matt had approached me, hey, do you want to, you guys, 2KW Pro had a event coming up. So I had some guests on him, G.A. West, a bunch of different guys. And that's how he was like, you want to come do sound for us? I was like, okay. And that's how I met you.
Yeah.
And then, then Matt was like, do you want to do commentary? There was like a whole happenstance events, and it was just kind of, I was thrown in the fire to do it. Right. I was wearing like a Rangers t-shirt and a hat, and it was just, and the first night, Ray's is like staring at me, and he's like jaw jacking to guys behind me, and I'm just like, this is fantastic. It's the best seat in the house.
Yeah, it's the best seat in the house.
I've been a broadcaster essentially my whole life, so the natural thing, I'm passionate about wrestling, I'm passionate about the sport, I'm passionate about broadcasting. So once the opportunity was there, I jumped on it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's very difficult for broadcasters to transition from one thing to a pro wrestling because I've had this conversation on the show before, but I'll say it again, professional, that's why I enjoy Moro so much, because sport announcing and pro wrestling announcing only has one major difference. The announcers for sport kind of have it a little easier because they're reacting to what's happening. Only, right. Whereas a pro wrestling commentator, you know what's happening, but you have to emote and act like you don't have a fucking clue what's going on. So it's a little easier. So that's why sometimes for broadcasters, they'll react to a LeBron James dunk a little different than they will to a choke slam.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they know the choke slam is coming. So while they're enthusiastic about the clothesline, it's not the same as, oh dear, there's an audible level, there's a feeling, there's a vibe that goes with a natural reaction to what you're seeing that most broadcasters sometimes miss when they have to kind of fake it.
That's why, honestly, I don't like to know.
Yeah.
I don't want
that's
to
exactly,
know.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I was always under the impression, like, the best thing that I need to know, the only thing I really need to know is the circle.
Yeah.
Which name is circled? That's all I need to know, because then I know that I have to gear my commentary for the match to build toward that crescendo.
Yes.
Right. I don't need to know.
I don't want to know all the high spots.
Right,
I don't want to know what's going here, what's going there.
I don't need all that stuff. Just what's the storyline you need me to sell? Is the ending part of the storyline? If not, then don't say shit to me.
Is this continuing after this?
Absolutely right. Exactly. Because then what ends up happening is you get inside your own head.
Yeah.
You get inside your own head, and
you try and predict it, and in some ways I've seen a lot of guys spoil it ahead of time. So
absolutely. Well, as this show progresses, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm still giving away free shit.
Ooh.
I'm still giving away free shit. I haven't given away anything just yet. I'm about to get stretched out and give away one of those free things now. We already had one caller here, folks. We already had one. If you want to chime in again, that is 609-910-0687. That is the phone number to call to talk to me and Mr. James here on Orsini's Uncensored Mind. If you are the 7th caller on the show, you will receive the 2 free Capital Wrestling tickets. That show is tomorrow night, live in Hoboken is the name of the show, and ironically enough, it is in Hoboken, New Jersey. So if you're able to make the show and you'd like to go free of charge, it's very simple. Be the 7th caller to do so. You call in number 7. You are the winner of those tickets for you and a friend. Once we have your information, we will message you immediately. No, the show doesn't even need to be over. We will message you immediately with the information you need to know. Those 2 tickets will be yours, but that's for later. I have 3 t-shirts to give away. I've already spoken to the winners, so I will announce them on the show. Because I just wanted to make sure that, because when you say, hey, I'm giving away a free t-shirt, please give me all your personal information, it might be a little weird, right?
Like what?
So you got to warm these people up to the idea that I need your address.
As long as nobody, as nobody sends you your blood sample.
I'm just some guy messaging them going, so give me your, I want a free t-shirt. Please input your credit card and social security number in the message box. So I wanted to let them know ahead of time. I'm going to message it on the show, but I want to let you know ahead of time. So the first t-shirt, the first winner, goes to my main man, Brian Estep, who is from Kansas.
Nice.
He lives in Kansas. He listens
heart of
to
America.
the show. Yes. I'm so glad his name was drawn. The pool was not as big as I had hoped, but that's fine. It was a nice sized pool. Everyone who wanted to be a part of the raffle, you all got a fair shot. I pulled those names when I got here. So it wasn't like I had an idea in my head of what I wanted to do. I actually had no clue what I wanted to do, literally until I got off the rainy bus here. But I did draw 3 names fairly and squarely, and Brian is a winner, and I'm glad Brian's a winner, this Brian in particular, because this fucker here constantly berates me for my love of the man himself, Jinder Mahal.
Oh.
Now, I am kicking myself.
His Maharaja.
Yes, I'm kicking myself for not giving you that song to play, because that's usually the cue for my show. So you guys are going to skate by on this one time. But he gives me shit all the time for it. Jokingly, we go back and forth, but he always busts my balls about it. I know he listens to the show. He's always quoted some things from the show to me. He's a big fan of the show, so I'm glad that a true hardcore got one of the shirts. So thank you, Brian, for listening. You are the first winner of one of those T-shirts. And as a matter of fact, if you want to find out where you can purchase the shirt after tonight, in case you don't win, I got a little commercial for you guys. Check it out. The show. What shirt are you wearing? It doesn't matter. It's trash. It's a terrible shirt. You should tear it off right now and be ashamed of yourself. You need to go buy my shirt. AJ Orsini's shirt, the official Orsini's Uncensored Mind t-shirt. How can you get this shirt? I'm glad you asked, you big dummy. All you need to do is go to prowrestlingtees.com/AJOUM and buy the shirt. It's great with a good logo on it. It's a beautiful thing. You need to buy it for yourself and your family and your friends. Stocking stuffers, under the tree. I don't care what you do. You can wash your car with it. You can use it as a bookmark. It's a dumb bookmark, but you can use it as a bookmark. I don't care what you do with it. If you're Spanish, you can tear it to pieces and clean your house with it like you always do with those other rags. Maybe you can update your stuff. I don't care what you do it for. Buy the shirt. prowrestlingtees.com/AJOUM. And all those things that I said in that commercial are absolutely true. I could care less what you use the shirt for. And although it is a very sexy shirt, I went live earlier with it. I'm wearing it right now. And I didn't wear it here so that it didn't get dirty. It had to look presentable, right? So I did all that. So Brian is the first winner of our T-shirt raffle. Of course, if you want to call into the show and want to get a shot at winning those Capital tickets, it's very simple. Pick up your phone and go to 609-910-0687. That is your number to dial to talk to me right now. And we're going to move on to the next topic. We're going to keep this moving here. And I'm going to talk a little something right now that is very near and dear to my heart, because it's one of the most important things I used to do when I was in the wrestling business, brother. When I was in the wrestling business, this thing was huge for me. I know I said the same thing backwards, but that's fine because that's how important I feel when I read this stuff out, because this is going to be an I told you so moment. All right? I don't want to dislocate my shoulder, but someone's got to pat me on the back, okay? I've been saying this shit for a long, long time. And now that the man himself, the dead man, the Undertaker, has come out and said something very remote, very close to what I've been saying, it kind of makes me feel a little warm and fuzzy inside. So, The Undertaker is his work name, obviously, but he's been going recently. This is not me going out of school. This is him going out recently saying Mark Calloway, his real name. And he did an interview recently with a pastor by the name of Ed Young, who's been doing this project, trying to do the whole church and wrestling thing, which someone dabbled in back in the day. I seem to remember some footage floating around of Shawn Michaels and Sting doing some stuff.
I thought you were going to say Brother Love, but that's
No. Although there is a nice connection there with him being the former manager. But he did an interview where he was talking about a lot of cool stuff, man, and he was dropping some 411. The problem is, and I say problem, is that I'm sure some people are going to have hurt emotions over some of the things that he said. I'm going to read an exact quote that was written down from the interview. It's from a soundbite. It's the exact quote. It's The Undertaker talking about the topic of athleticism and character, okay, in pro wrestling, not just WWE. So he said, the athletes today, they're off the chart. It's just ridiculous how athletically talented the men and women are, and for that matter, but they rely, important word, rely. See, wrestling and sports entertainment, it's not about the moves. It really isn't. It's being able to evoke emotion in one facet or another. You have to either make people love you or you have to make them hate you. Either way, it doesn't matter really which one. Certain people like to be hated and other people like to be loved, but you can't bring that emotion out of your audience. You're not going to have them for long. And a lot of times what happens with these young guys is they're so athletic, they're so gifted. They'll do some kind of crazy double backflip off the top, land on somebody on the floor, and that's what the audience takes away from it. Oh, this guy does crazy stuff. Well, you can see that so many times before you're like, I've seen that, I need something new. That's the position they sometimes back themselves into. They have to keep upping the ante, and when you up the ante like that, then you increase your potential for injuries. Catastrophic injuries at that. So character guys like The Rock, Cena, Flair, all those guys like that, they have the ability to make you love them or make you hate them. I mentioned earlier that I myself had dabbled in the actual pro wrestling stuff. I've done the pro wrestling, and I did it myself. and I tried to involve other people into that. And it's always been a principle of mine that character has to come over the moves. I am now being informed I've got a phone call. I'll get back to this in a second. Who's this on the air? Who's this on the line?
Hey, this is Hippie.
I'm sorry, this is who? Oh, Hippie.
Hippie.
Yes,
how you doing,
Hippie. Yes. How you doing, big man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I wanted your opinion on what you think the biggest issue that independent wrestling is facing today, in your opinion.
Biggest issue independent wrestling is facing today actually ties into what I was just going to talk about right before you called in. I was talking about a quote that the Undertaker had. I just read the whole quote, literally just read the whole thing, but the synopsis of the whole thing is that people should be taking more advantage or more importance to their character as opposed to the moves. My biggest problem with independent wrestling, and one of your favorite wrestlers, Chris Cage, said this on my show not too long ago, where he stated, there's not a lot of people that can talk in wrestling. Talk, as in like not get in front of a microphone and say words. I mean be able to get in front of a microphone, look you dead into your eyes, and make you fucking feel what he is saying. And he means what he's saying. Even if it's in a joking manner. Even if it's joking, even if you're speaking facetiously, you're just trying to just get a rise out of somebody. They're saying it in a way that generates interest in you. That's the problem that I have with indie wrestling.
It's all about the transference of emotion. Because if you can't get something across, whether it's laughter, humor, anger, what's the point of being there? You got to have your audience feel something.
Absolutely. Listen, I was just going to say as one of my major points for this with this quote is one of the things that I tell students when I go visit schools and when I talk to the young people coming up into the business. One of the things that I always say is I can get 30 guys off the street and I can teach them how to execute a moonsault, and the moonsault will come off fine. How many of those 30 will do the moonsault in a way where I want to pay to see him do it?
Absolutely.
That's the point of wrestling. Anybody can do the moves if they practice hard enough. Can you do the moves in a way that tells me that I should be feeling right now? That's why when people steal moves, they copy moves and all that stuff, I don't really have a huge problem with that, because are you executing the move in a way that gives me a chance to really divulge into what's happening? I want to follow the story.
Absolutely.
I want to care about the individual in the ring, or I want to hate the person in the ring, or I want to fall in love with the person in the ring, or I want to laugh at the person in the ring's jokes, or I want to feel scared for the individual in the ring. There's a range of different emotions. When you go in front of a camera and you say, I'm going to kick his ass on Saturday, that does fucking nothing for me. It does nothing for me. There's 7 matches on the card. I'm assuming all of them are going to kick the crap out of each other on Saturday. What is it about you that wants me to... That's why I had and I'll go ahead and say this out loud. I've said it on the show before. I've met Ricochet. I've worked with Ricochet. Ricochet is an awesome fucking dude. I was stunned when they signed him, because the only style I had ever seen him do was that style. Now that he's in NXT, you see a completely different person. He's still doing the flips, but they've minimized it. They've made them mean something. He does them on point to a degree. It's all part of the story and what he's trying to accomplish. That's the one thing that I was worried about with Ricochet. But he's doing it in a way now that makes complete sense. If he went back to the Indies tomorrow, he wouldn't be doing that. Unfortunately, we lost a caller, but I'm just going to continue my point and keep listening, Hippie. If you feel like you can call back, please do call back. But that's my point in this article here. You got to make me feel what you're doing. James, what do you think about this quote when you just heard it?
I agree completely, 100%. It's strange because wrestling has changed, because athletically, there's no issues. Athletically, guys are more athletic than they've ever been. They take the portion of their bodies a lot more seriously. There's less junk in the business. There's more people, dietary concerns. We know more about bodies and how they perform. In the Attitude Era, or the Golden Era, as people refer to it as the end-all be-all, which, that's a different argument in and of itself.
Episode 54, Attitude Era versus Reality Era. Current era.
The stress, it seemed, was more story-based, and the wrestling suffered, is what the perception was. Now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Now we're getting,
all the great wrestling.
All the great... I wouldn't say great wrestling because it has to mean something. That's
Right.
part of it, like you're saying.
Absolutely.
We're getting more of the athleticism, the pure athleticism than we did then. But it's hurt. Why am I invested? If I'm not invested, honestly, I can go see anybody flip. I can see anybody dive through the middle rope 3 times in the same match. What does it mean? Now, if you're doing that and then you hurt his shoulder out there, then the rest of the match you're working a shoulder, it means something.
Right, yeah. You're telling a story.
If you're just doing it to do it, the move shouldn't get the pop. The reason why you're doing it should mean more.
Right.
And now people applaud for that. They cheer that. They don't cheer the action. They cheer the actual, that was a cool looking thing. But when it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't translate.
But but his question, I think, it was a very specific question. It's like, what's wrong with the indie scene? So, like, the best way that I could give you an analogy, I was working at a school, House of Glory, as a matter of fact. I'll go ahead and say I was working with a school where they were teaching kids all these different moves, and one of the kids, who was like a former gymnast or whatever, he saw a move on YouTube that he wanted to try, and they put the bag out for him, and he went up to the top, and we didn't know what it was. He just said, I want to try it. And he executed a 630.
Wow.
Now, he did it just based on, he saw a YouTube video the night before. He just did it. And when he did it, somebody next to me said, oh, that guy's going to be a star. And I leaned over and said, why?
Why? Yeah.
How the hell is he going to be a star for that? He just did a 630. It's amazingly athletic. I give him all the credit in the world. He's an amazing athlete. Why is he going to be a star in the wrestling business? What does that 630 do for the story? What 630 in particular, this is why I bring it up, it's a momentum move. You're double flipping. You're putting all your momentum into one strike, right? So if he had executed that 630 following a struggle between the two, he goes to the top rope for another move that was ineffective. He's panicking. He doesn't know what to do. He's stressed out. He's been fighting this guy this entire time. He's spent, and now he goes up for the fucking Hail Mary. Slow as shit. The slowest setup to a 630 you possibly can. Cracks it as fast as he can. Hits 1, 2, 3. Now I understand the 630.
Because not only is the move impactful, the impact of drawing out, establishing that you couldn't do it before using all of these other moves.
You needed the 630 to beat him. There was no other fucking way. The only way to beat this guy was to take all of your fucking weight and rotate it so fucking hard that it injured you in the process.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how bad that move needs to come off. If you execute it, because I've seen people do 630s and the guy kick out. That was the problem I had. You haven't been on. You weren't on the show when I was having arguments with people about Okada and Omega. When you do Tiger suplex from the top rope and then wrestle for 15 more minutes, I am lost. Yeah. I lose all attention in this matchup.
You're no longer invested emotionally.
He was drilled from the top of his head, of the very top of his head, from 20 feet up.
Yeah.
Essentially, almost, because the turnbuckles itself is about 6. They're 6, so you're dabbling into some pretty high numbers here. And he got drilled from the top of his head, from the top of that to the fucking ground, and then he kicks out and executes offensive maneuvers.
You're asking people to suspend their disbelief too much.
Yeah,
in that regard.
Exactly, too much.
There is a reasonable amount of disbelief, but that. I'm sorry. You dropped me on my head. Yes. I'm not getting up for 20 minutes.
Yeah, at least sell the fucking thing, which he did. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on Okada. He's one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. But that's where we have that conversation between character and moveset, because I've seen Okada's work. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. I'm not a fan of him.
Yeah.
That's my only problem. I get shit on all the time for it, but I'm sorry that I don't follow in with the social norms. I think he's a great wrestler. If you take him and put him in the ring with another great wrestler and just let him work, I'll enjoy the shit out of it, because I'm a traditionalist, I'm an old school guy, and I like the way it works.
Yeah.
If you're telling me, am I a fan of his work? No, because what the fuck does he do?
What stories has he had?
He looks good. Yeah,
contest?
right. Like recently they did a heel turn for Gato.
Yes,
he turned down Okada. No, I'm a little invested because I know he's going to come out there. He's going to have a different type of match now. He's going to try to beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah,
I'm invested.
Payback, something.
Right? Because they were like, well, the storyline is him and Omega. What was it? Omega hadn't executed his finishing move yet. That was the storyline. He didn't do one winged angel yet.
Okay,
all right, that works great. That works great for the match psychology.
Yeah.
What's the story?
What happens outside
of
the
blur
ropes.
that.
Yeah.
They blur that. They compare the psychology with the story. That's why when people tell me, oh, this match had great psychology, and then I ask, what was the psychology? They'll tell me the story. No, those are two separate fucking things.
Yeah.
There is a story.
There's ring psychology.
Right.
Yeah.
There is a story that led to the psychology that equated to the work. That's how the math works on wrestling. I need to know why they're fighting. Once you decide that, now we're going to see what they do to fight, and then it will equate to this.
What comes next.
This was the end result of that.
Yeah.
That's how that works. So that's why when he says you have to build a character is step one. Once you build a character, and the other guy builds a character, when you put those two characters together, you devise a story.
Yeah, you make it meaningful.
Right,
and this is
exactly.
coming from perhaps the greatest character guy
right, exactly.
in the history of the business.
Who's explaining basically his recipe for success. This is how I did it.
And no one can argue with his success. Anyone who can is
no
crazy.
one can touch it. I still say to this day, he's the greatest WWE superstar of all time. I don't care how many championships other people won.
Yeah,
he's the greatest of all
he didn't
time.
need them.
He was on top the entire time for over 25 years, untouched. That's past San Martino. That's past Hogan. That's past Cena. That's past everybody.
Yeah,
everybody.
in a quote unquote gimmick that no one thought would have
That
lasted
should have
long.
failed.
Yeah,
look at that goofy ass gimmick when it started. Look at, with the gloves and the pale face
and the purple eyes.
His moveset was a choke and a no sell. His no sell was a move.
Yeah,
that was part of the. I think I've seen him pin people from fear. Like he would just do the rise and they would freak out. And
it's
he'd
like,
pin
I'm just
him.
gonna lay down.
Yeah, just fuck this. I'm not fighting this guy. They still sell it the same way. When the gong hits and they all look at the fucking curtain like, oh shit.
Oh no.
It's like when your dad comes home and you've been acting like a bitch all day and you're like, oh, dad's coming, and you hear the keys and you start shitting yourself.
Yeah, the gong goes off and the chocolate comes out.
Exactly, just like that, Mr. Softy style, with the swirl, and it comes down uncontrollably. You got the shakes. That's what happened when Takers comes out. And you know what? When you see guys, because the Young Bucks obviously come to the top of the list when you start talking about Spotty and all that stuff. But you know what? They've gone on record and saying, like, we could do the WWE style. We could change what we do to fit a more traditional style. It just doesn't make as much money as the other style.
And I don't begrudge anybody for finding a niche. And
Right.
I think there's room at the table for everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
And people tend to say, if you like this, you can't like that.
Right.
I'm sorry, it's my fandom. It's my dollar.
Right.
I choose what I want to pay for.
Absolutely. And it works. To me, the conversation should be a two-way street. If you're sitting here telling me that your style of wrestling should be able to sit at the table and be considered a style of wrestling, I will give you that. On the condition that you accept, I don't have to fucking like it there.
Absolutely.
That's the only problem with it.
I might want to sit at a different table.
Right. I respect the people who do hardcore wrestling. One of my favorite hires all time. I tell this story all the time. Matt Tremont.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought he was X when he was X, Y, Z. This guy is talented all across the board. I was completely wrong. And I told him that. I was wrong in judging you. I never said anything negative to him. I just had my own opinion about him when I hired him. And I figured we're going to get a good match out of him. It was Reyes. It was him and Reyes. And I said, we're going to go.
I was there. I think I called that match.
I think you did. And I was just thinking to myself, we'll get a good match out of him. I wasn't thinking much of it. And no hardcore stuff, no blood, no skewers, none of that shit. He went in there and had a pro wrestling match with
And
Reyes.
they both worked
They worked hard
for it.
and stiff, and they walked in and their shit was good and tight and everything looked great. And I walked away from that match going, I completely fucking misjudged him. And after that, when he went back to CZW, he changed the gimmick up, started doing the Father Matthews stuff, and he just changed the whole thing around, and he started getting all this momentum, and I became a huge fucking fan. Having said that, I'm not a fan of hardcore wrestling. I can do both. I can like the person, but not like the style.
Yeah.
The style can sit at the table. It makes money. One of my favorite promotions of all time was ECW, but I didn't like ECW for the hardcore shit. I liked it because it was wild and wacky, and you can say bitch on TV. That's why I liked it.
It was all over the place.
MSG
It was a
Network,
variety show.
Yeah, it really was. If you go to YouTube and look at those old Betamax fucking promos that they fucking have on YouTube, where it's just one camera and the dude's coming out of the fucking shower or something goofy, and they're saying a bunch of weird shit. The promos back then were fucking ridiculous, but they were ridiculous because that was the wrestler speaking. Paul didn't give scripts, he gave direction. And he gave different directions, and he chose the best one to go with for the TV program. And he would try to get something out of the fucking guys, something from fucking in here. So Hippie asked what I thought was wrong with the indie scene. To me, that's what's wrong with WWE. They're not genuine anymore.
They have too many line
It's
by
sanitized.
line. Yeah.
It's
sanitized.
sanitized.
I understand that it's a big business and you have to get in, or I understand the line of thinking. I don't like it or agree with it, that you
Right.
have to hit certain phrases and certain words to make people, it's been market tested to elicit this response from people.
Right.
But it takes all the creativity and emotion out of it if the same guy is saying it the same way later on in the show. You have guys speaking in the same tongue. You can tell when the same guy has written something for someone. You're speaking in the writer's voice. You're not speaking in your own voice. And if two guys are getting the same quote-unquote script from the same guy, the voice is going to be the same.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I appreciate guys like Kevin Owens. Because Kevin Owens, when you watch Kevin Owens on Raw or SmackDown, regardless of what brand he's on, you can see a guy who got his script and said, what can I do just outside of this?
Circumvent it.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I want to deliver your message, but is there any way that I could tweak it this way or that way? Because he always tries to put his own spin on shit. Even if it's something as subtle as, I'm going to say the script, but I'm going to do it in French. Or it's like, I'm gonna say the script, but I'm going to inflect differently so that it gets a different point across. Where it's like it comes off more as a threat as opposed to be just reading a line.
Yeah.
Or he'll do, or one of the things that he does that I think is brilliant and I think more people should do is sometimes the best way to change your promo is to not promo. How many times does he stand in the ring and he'll say a sentence and let that fucking sentence sit?
Yeah.
And they, you know who's a master at this? He's been doing this recently. Elias.
Yeah.
Elias will drop the line and he'll sit there for the next half an hour if he has to.
Just wait for it.
If he has to, he'll sit there all fucking night. And I can hear them in the ear going, "Okay, move, move, move," and he'll let that heat sink in and he gives you the opportunity to hate him. He doesn't just go to the next line so he doesn't forget.
Yeah.
Like Randy Orton, who just bulldozes through the script to say he doesn't fucking forget it. Whereas a guy where I'd rather have 5 sentences that mean something than 20.
That mean nothing.
That does just gibberish. It's just more.
Because it'll get lost. Whatever. Which if you have one meaningful line in a 20-page dissertation that takes 18
from a guy
minutes
who's
on
not been in the
television.
wrestling business more than a day, and he's going to tell me how to write a promo, like for instance, like we just did Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. These guys have been wrestling each other for like what, 20 years?
Yeah.
So fucking Eric from law school over here is going to come over and tell me how to cut a promo on fucking Jeff Hardy.
Well, I've been watching for,
I have the network too.
Yeah. No, that doesn't
I got
count.
a username like yesterday. I've been checking it out. You guys in the Royal Rumble were pretty good like 10 years ago.
I think it's good to have writers in the way of, hey, how do we branch this to this?
Right.
But to literally put words in people's mouth, I don't think that helps anybody.
I've made the argument for writers in the sense of, because there are some guys that it works for. AJ's whole career turned around thanks to the writers.
Yeah, fair.
Because the fucker could not cut a promo in TNA to save his life. If his children were wrapped in a rope, hanging over a vat of acid, and they told him, give me 60 seconds on why I should let your kids live, they'd be dead halhalfway through the fucking promo.
Like
his promos were the shits.
Like the villain in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Exactly.
Right in the dip.
Right in the dip. His kids they done been dipped, as he would say from the South. But that's exactly what would have happened. The writers helped him out immensely because they gave him, he's not a promo guy. So they gave him, I think by now, if he left the WWE, his promos would be great. I think the lesson, the schooling he got in WWE on how and when and what to say and all that stuff, I think all that stuff. But they needed to break his ass. Same thing with Joe. Joe's just an angry man all the time. Now in the WWE, he's soft, and his words mean something, and he turns the page, and he's
that's
still
because
yells.
of the style you were talking about, and to the quote, no one would question AJ because his in-ring ability is so good, they would overlook a lot of the glaring things in the rest of his performance.
Right.
And that's a part of it.
And I think a lot of people, the reason why he never improved his promo is because no one asked him to.
Yeah, they didn't
no one
need
else.
to.
Yeah,
They
it's
didn't
like, well, he's
want
AJ
to.
Styles. They're paying to see him wrestle.
Yeah.
Now he goes to the big stage where people with actual weight. I'm sure a guy like Triple H, who's been doing this for forever, he walked over to AJ. You talk for shit. No,
but we're gonna need to
with
work
all
on
due
that.
respect. Yeah, you're one of the best wrestlers in the world. I'll give you that, but you talk for shit.
It's like I don't.
So we need to sit you down and fucking break you.
You're from the South. What else?
Right. And a lot of fans, sometimes they lose track of that. They'll see a star that they love from the indies or from another promotion to come to the WWE, and they consider it a burial. Whereas the WWE sees it as reconstruction. We need him to... What was the quote that... I think it was Arn Anderson, the quote for Seth Rollins? He was excellent in French. We needed him to speak English. That's what it was. That's a great quote because it's exactly what we're talking about.
Languages,
he was great there at what he did, but that was that style. He needs to do this now. So if he can incorporate some of that in here, that's cool. But that's why a lot of those ROH guys who got cut from NXT or just didn't get signed, that's why. Because if you can't transition, Chris Jericho, another quote, I'm going to bring out Chris Jericho, because people sometimes blame the PG thing. PG, G, RX doesn't matter, baby. If you can't work that style, you're not as great as you think you are.
Yep.
That's it. If you can't adjust.
And Chris Jericho had problems when he first came in adapting as well.
He
That's
did.
why
He almost got fired because he couldn't adapt. That's why he knows now. He goes, listen, and the first rule of adaptation is vulnerability. That's the first rule of adaptation. If you've got ego, if you think to yourself you know what you're doing, you're not adapting the shit. You're forcing it.
You never stop learning.
You never stop learning. You can't stop being humble about your situation. You absolutely cannot. So that's one of those situations there. So, I mean, I wanted to bring that quote up, man. That was a good quote. And I had a lot of fun with that. We got more callers? Just checking
no
in.
more callers right now.
Okay. So I'm going to let you guys know again, 609-910-0687. That is the number to call. We have a few more topics we need to get to, but
our first hour is already done.
Our first hour is already in the books. It's the live edition.
Yeah.
Now, I've had a 2-hour rule. I don't know if you know about this.
Yes.
I've had a 2-hour rule. I don't like going 2 hours.
Yeah.
I got close with the GOAT interview, which was, I think, 150.
Well, that's
something like that. But it was so many
hard,
people.
Yeah.
So I had to, it was weird. But even my interview was 90 minutes, hour and 40 at the most, because I want the interviewer to get their time and see what they have to say. My episodes never go past an hour and 15. So I'm breaking my own rule here, but what better time to do so than the 1 hour anniversary show. So
yeah, all those rules and regulations you put out in episode 1.
Absolutely.
You could break them at your will.
Now, we have any Capital commercials on deck here?
No, but just head on over to 301 Garden Street tomorrow night. Bell time is 8 p.m. Come say hi to me. I'll be calling all the action. Sonny Kiss, the Capital Wrestling Champion, will take on the Endgame Paul Jourdain, 6'8", 298 pounds. It's going to be to quote the great JR, a slobber knocker.
There you go. I'm not I said this on the live thing. I am not an employee of a Capital Wrestling, but you would swear by my catalog that I am. Yeah. Because I've had so many Capital wrestlers on my fucking show. And to be fair, there's a correlation. There's kind of a reason for that, and I've discovered this over time. It wasn't a plan. But I have a history, and I'm going to shout him out right now because he's also been a very big part of my career and everything that I've done. Matthew Ryan, who is obnoxious.
Yes.
But the most beautiful, obnoxious person you'll ever fucking meet, because you want to talk about fucking passion. Okay, I credit myself. This is the one thing I do credit myself. I am passionate about the wrestling business. It is my life. It is my blood. It is my air. It is everything. Everything in my life is wrestling business. Very rarely do I sit across a table from somebody who loves this shit as much as I do. And Matthew Ryan is in that group. It's a very small group, probably one hand of people that I've worked with where I'm like, yeah, this guy really gives a shit.
Yeah.
And Matt sometimes cares so much it hurts.
Oh, yeah.
It hurts him and it hurts the people around him.
Yeah.
Sometimes he cares so much it hurts. But you know what? He cares. He cares. He's one of those guys, man. He wants everybody around him to be successful. He wants to be successful. He's got a drive. I've always loved that about him. And that's why it's no coincidence that we dabbled in a lot of the same talent. I picked my guest for my show throughout this whole year, and believe it or not, 1 year, 56 episodes. I only have around 6 or 7 one-on-one interviews. And the reason for that is because I am very, very selective. Could I go into my bank account right now and get a ton of money out and pay for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat or Ted DiBiase or the guy who just got cut from WWE yesterday? Could I get those guys in the podcast?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because it's not about connections, it's about money. If I went in there and pulled out my payroll right now and just gave it to any fucking random guy off the street to come on the show, they'd probably fucking do it. So to me, that was not something that I wanted to do. To me, what I wanted to do, I wanted to bring guests on my show that I thought the audience would be interested in. Here's someone new I've never heard about, or someone I have heard about but don't really know too much about, and I could check out this show for only 90 minutes. I don't have to sit through 3 or 4 hours of him babbling the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
We have a decent amount of fucking questions asked. We laughed. We have conversations. I hit it with 9 random as fucks.
Nice.
And then we go off, and that's our show. And so guys like Mike Law, who you know very well, for Capital Wrestling,
Great
not
guy.
the biggest guy in the world, but to me, one of the best pure pro wrestlers in the game right now. And I'm not talking about New York, New Jersey. I'm talking about right now.
It's a guy who engages the audience
Absolutely.
on every single
Complete
level.
package guy.
Yep.
If he was a foot taller, he'd already be signed.
I agree.
And it's a shame that that's the criteria for some people, but it is what it is. And I think Mike understands that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop him. He's also very passionate about the business. Ariella next coming onto the show. She's the Capital Wrestling Women's Champion.
Oh, yeah.
Very talented. I've known her since students' days. I met her when she literally first signed on to train to be a wrestler.
Wow.
And now she's your Capital Wrestling Women's Champion. So extra
Someone
proud of
who
her.
works very hard as well.
Yeah, obviously. The GOAT, obviously. Family, we grew up together. We've come into this business together. And I'm not going to tip my hand now because I'm going to end this with something that I haven't done in a long time. Orsini hasn't cut a promo in a long time. So I'm going to be ending this with a promo. So I'm not going to tip my hand, but GOAT is pretty much family to me. They're like brothers to me and sisters, Miss Ivy Roman. I haven't had a chance to meet the new one. There's a new member. I haven't had a chance to meet her, but we will soon. We'll dabble. EC Negro was the first guest that I had, and to me, there's no 15 countries, there's no 2,000 downloads without EC Negro. He was the biggest download I had. He's currently the highest downloaded episode I have to this day.
Wow.
And I've had a lot of downloads from a lot of different episodes. But
that's a testament to the respect that
he was my number one download up until Ariella Nix, and then she surpassed because she's just so popular right now.
Yeah.
But he announced his retirement recently, so in spirit of that, I released that interview again, and it exploded all over again.
Wow.
Because it gave people an opportunity to see the real him. I think sometimes when Negro walks into interviews and walks into studios to do podcasts, and this is just me speaking, I don't know for a fact, but I feel like he plays the character. When he was in my house, he knows me personally. I grew up watching him perform. I've always respected him. I've always told him my respect for him. So he was the first guy I called for my podcast. Literally the first guy I wanted was Negro. And I called him on the phone and I said, brother, I know it's a long shot. I haven't been doing this for very long. I think he was episode 14. So 14, I said, I haven't been doing this for very long, but I'd love to have you as a guest. I just got this new board, and I have a chance to do an interview. I'd like you to be first. He said, where and when?
Wow. Yeah.
So I said, dude, is there any way you can get to Brooklyn to my house and we could put this together? He's just one day. I said, well, can you do it on a Monday or whatever? He's like, I'm okay, cool. Because it was like a holiday, so school was out and stuff. So he came by. We sat down. I bought him a bottle of Patron as a nice gift. He never opened it. He was on a diet.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of fucked up. I got him something he couldn't have. So he's got a bottle of Temptation in front of him the entire hour and a half.
What a jerk.
But we went in there, man, and he talked about shit in my podcast. I'm going to be honest with you. I have never heard him say anywhere else. He told the real story of the team breakup, all the shit that went down in his family, all the personal time he took. He got deep. And when it was all over, I kind of felt bad, to be honest with you. I was like, dude, you really opened up. And I was like, are you all right? Like, I didn't hope, but I didn't ask the question that was too personal. He said, bro, I didn't intend on opening up, but you got me
made him comfortable.
You got me to open up without the Patron. That interview was him sober. So if you go back to listen to that episode, that's him sober. So going through all these, I wanted to be very specific with my guests. I want to be very specific, and I always want to give the audience something to not just be entertained by, but genuinely learn from. Even when I do my own shit, I'll bring up topics like we just talked about now. We just went through this whole thing. We just did like 15 minutes on character and what it means to wrestling and all that stuff. And someone's going to hear that, and they're going to go, fuck that shit. And you know what? That's fucking fine, man. If you don't fucking agree with what Orsini has to say, brother, that's cool, but give me the opportunity to retort. I love having conversations, debates, and discussions on Facebook. You've seen me trashing people all the time.
It's great.
And they'll trash me back. We'll go back and forth.
I'm a spectator for a lot of those, but just know I'm in that comment box just watching.
Just waiting for
him to drop the hammer.
Wait for those 3 dots to hit. I'm waiting for it. Let's go, bitch. Let's bring it. And I got no problem. I'll block the ones who go too far, but just for the record, too far means like you're not even listening to the conversation anymore.
Yeah,
now
you're no longer engaged.
Now you're just insulting to us. Right. If you want to, as a matter of fact, I got in trouble in Florida. I never got to talk about this. When we were on vacation in Florida, I got into a knockdown, drag out over the Ronda Rousey thing. It was I was in Florida when that debate happened about Ronda Rousey and not paying her dues and all that shit. That whole 100 comment fucking thing. I was in fucking Florida. I was on vacation. My son was in the tub. I'm supposed to be bathing my son, and instead I am full out debating this fucking guy I don't know furiously, bro. Those 3 bars, because I'm like, it got so deep in the conversation when the 3 dots came up. I was almost offended. Like, how the fuck do you think you're coming back from that? I just owns you, bro. There's no fucking way. And then he would come back, but he would have something good. That guy that I debated with, the very next fucking day liked the Orsini Uncensored Mind page. He started commenting on the page stuff. He became a fucking fan.
That's
and
good.
the reason for that is because I didn't yell, I didn't scream. Obviously, through tone, through text, it's a little difficult.
You engaged him.
But I had an answer for every question. And then when he had a question for me, we went just back and forth. It was a fucking it was the most heated civil thing I've ever been through in my entire life.
Well, you, sir, are wrong.
Yes, well, yes, bully. So yeah, that's how that conversation went down. So whenever somebody has a disagreement or somebody like goes against, I don't agree with that. Cool, bro. Don't fucking agree, because there's a lot of shit I'm not going to agree with either.
Yeah.
So we'll go back and forth. We were talking on air about, you're very careful with reviewing and criticizing, and I've said it before on the show, and I'll say it again. As a person who considers himself still in the business, even though I haven't done a show since, I don't know, a few months now, I still have that respect for the industry, and I can't sit here and criticize a WWE superstar for something they did on a pay-per-view when I haven't sniffed a pay-per-view like that before. I can critique, I can have an opinion, but I can't go on my podcast and be like, that guy's fucking trash.
Yeah, because that's not constructive. If you're saying it as it relates to the things that you're trying, when people critique something as it relates to their own deficiencies, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Where it's like, I see this person does this, and I sort of do something similar, but I like the way that he did it. I'm going to try it. That's constructive. But to just say with no reason, I don't like this person, A, you don't know this person. B, you don't know what goes into their preparation at the level that they're on. So you don't live their life. So there's no reason for you to criticize and trash them.
No, what it is, I at first, I thought this whole internet troll thing was just something to like... I actually thought people were getting something from this, where they were like, they really believe in what they're saying.
Yeah.
Horseshit.
They don't.
What I have found out now, or learned over time, because before this podcast, I never really engaged in social media like that. If I had a social media, like I had Facebook before this, but I didn't have an Instagram. I barely tweeted. It barely like even existed.
I still don't.
I don't think I had a profile pic. I think I was the egg for like 3 months or something like that.
It finally hatched.
Yeah, it hatched like a motherfucker. It created a litter of
1 year later.
Yeah, so 1 year. Well, no, before the year, but the show really got me more social, thinking more on a social media level, and opening up to different things. And even on that, when you post, you find yourself being a little bit more vulnerable, and you're posting this opinion out, and it's a free forum for them to state a rebuttal or that's stupid. Like you're leaving yourself pretty open to some pretty nasty shit when you do that, right? So I thought these people were being this visceral about it because they just really felt that strongly about
they
the
were
point.
as passionate
it's
about
a fucking
their point of view.
show.
Yeah.
It's a fucking show. They're performing. They're hoping somebody picks this shit up and gives them a pat on the back.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time, especially like in these wrestling groups when it's the same guy over and over posting up the same. I always laugh.
It's their own celebrity.
Right. It's their own celebrity. Yeah. Like they'll post the same exact status in like 8 different groups and just see which one they can really poke at.
Yeah.
And then once they, you're an asshole.
They're fishing for
there it is.
I'll be here
I'm
for
in.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'll screenshot that.
And then post it to something
that
else.
back into the other groups. Like, this guy over here called me an asshole. What a dick. Go ahead and get him. Tag. And they start tagging people. And you're like, bro, what are you doing with your life right now? Like, how long have you been sitting at your fucking desk just
doing
doing this all fucking day? So that's why after a while I just stopped caring, to be honest with you. Like, unless you have something very strong, like a real thought out, detailed fucking opinion about something, I ignore it. Those times that you see me battle people is because when I responded, they had a legit fucking response to come back. Because there's sometimes where I'll respond and they'll come back with the most retarded fucking comment ever, and I will type, okay, I'm done here, and then I won't block.
And
or
it's not
anything.
you're done.
I'm just ignoring the notifications at this point because I'm just like, that's not even a response.
People might confuse that as, okay, I'm done, as in I have nothing else to say.
Right, they'll take it as a win, which is fine.
It's not.
Listen, it's a concession.
Just
I get
so
it.
you know,
I'm
it's not.
conceding this argument to you because I refuse to divulge my brain to this sad and sadistic shit that you're bringing to the table.
And they're only arguing with themselves at that point because they're not listening to what you're saying.
No,
they're not engaging with it. They're just waiting for their turn to speak.
Right. Like the Ronda Rousey situation.
Yeah.
When she hasn't paid her dues, she doesn't deserve to be champion. I'm like, first of all, why the fuck do you care?
Yeah.
What dues the performer fucking paid? Since when did that fucking matter to the fucking fan? And if you mean dues in the sense of I didn't get a chance to take that ride with her because I'm not a UFC fan, so as far as I'm concerned, she came in the door and just became champion. Even then, like, they played the promo packages for you leading up to this shit. She's a pretty legit fucking badass.
And she's fairly mainstream. Out of all of the people that you wouldn't know from MMA, she's probably one of the top ones besides Conor McGregor, who has eclipsed her as a star in terms of MMA.
At one point, people were legitimately discussing Ronda Rousey versus Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And they would just discuss, at that point, it was just a conversation of rules.
Yeah.
They were like,
how would
she's
they do
such
it?
a badass.
Yeah.
Right. So you're trying to tell me that a person who wakes up at 4 a.m. every day, cracks those 2 eggs, does the 10-mile run, comes back, gets beat up into the stomach, takes the pads, does all the taekwondo stuff, does all the judo training, takes a nap for an hour, comes back and repeats all that shit for several days, weeks, months, and years at a time, didn't pay dues to win a fake belt?
Yeah. You're not, as well as as a former Olympian, all of these things.
I mean, she's world class. What kind of dues do you want her to pay? You want her to lose to Alicia Fox a few times on Raw before she becomes... I just didn't understand the conversation. So when he started coming back at me, he was making some reasonable arguments in the sense of tiering. You know, he was trying to break it down where it's just like, well, she's a badass and she did pay dues. I'm not taking that from her, but she didn't pay dues here. They're using her as a spokesperson, essentially as a ratings thing, and da-da-da.
It's a business.
That's the point.
It's a business.
Hello, why is there a championship belt at all? It's to make the audience believe this guy or this gal is the best in the business, and everything's focused on them. That's called a marketing strategy. It's been that way since the beginning in every sport.
Yeah, they get so emotionally invested they forget that it's a business, and the objective of the business is to get your money, and they have your money either way, because if you're talking about it, that's money.
When the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, the very next Sports Illustrated issue didn't have the Arizona Cardinals on it. It doesn't make any sense. You put the best on there. Why? Because the best sells the product.
And they just won.
It's a marketing tool.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're not going to put some hockey team from Saskatchewan that nobody cares about. Sure, they play great, but they didn't win. They don't generate any revenue. You got to generate something.
I never understood it. Hey, guys, you're listening to me right now live on MESN Radio. I'm normally on ajoum.podbean.com. Not live. Those are all taped beforehand and then delivered out there every Wednesday, 9 p.m. But there are other platforms that you guys can catch me on. I've been very diligent on the different places in which you can catch the show. So here's just a few platforms and different places you can catch Orsini's Uncensored Mind. Hey, everybody. This is your main man, AJ Orsini, and I am your host of Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and that's the show where I dig into this old brain here, this old cerebellum, and pull out the most unadulterated, uncensored thought on just about whatever's rolling around in here, man. We're talking about TV shows, music, comic books, games, movies, all forms of entertainment, and of course my primary field of expertise, professional wrestling. If you're down for all that, down for interviews with up-and-coming talent, down for roundtable discussions, down for all that stuff, head over to ajoum.podbean.com every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Got a problem with Podbean? No problem with me. You can check me out on all kinds of platforms. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, TuneIn Radio app, Listen Notes, Castbox.fm, and now, starting right now, you can catch me on iHeartRadio. 15 countries, thousands of downloads. Join the squad of vote today. Yes, those are all the different places, and trust me, it was not easy to get all of those places. I got turned down for some of them. I had to keep going back.
Hard work.
It's just sticking with it, man. So those are all the different places. If you have any of those apps already, that way, because I know sometimes when you hear me plug ajoum.podbean.com, you guys start thinking, oh, shit, another app I got to get. Nope, not another app. You can keep the fucking apps you got. Don't download for the sake of me. Keep your storage exactly where you want it. Just if you happen to have one of those apps, and most Androids, I think, come with Google Play Music, and I think most Apple phones come with iTunes.
Yep, all of them do. They come stock. You already have it.
Yeah, should already have it. Yeah.
There's also the Apple Podcast app that comes with it. They tried to go away from the iTunes thing now. They're trying more more.
Well, hopefully my shit transfers over too.
It does. It does automatically.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. All you gotta do
a
is
lot of people. That was a big thing.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I'm not big on the Apple stuff. I'm not an Apple guy. But you can hear me on the Apple products now. All you got to do is search Orsini's Uncensored Mind, or you can search the author name, which is myself, AJ Orsini, and you can do all that. I have a second T-shirt I got to get.
Ooh, second T-shirt.
A second T-shirt,
Number
3
2.
all together. That's right. T-shirt number 2. And the lucky winner is another person not in this area, which I'm super excited about.
Nice.
It's not a New York person. This person lives out in Allentown, PA, and this is Andy. Andy.
Home of Billy Kidman.
You know what? I asked him his fucking full name, and he gave me Andy. What a
So
jerk.
Andy.
Andy in Kansas. I'm gonna have to message him. I can't just ship
Not
a
in
box.
Kansas. Allentown.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. Brian was in Kansas. Yes, I'm getting
He's
my
gonna get
states.
two. He's gonna get 2 T-shirts
Yeah, Brian's
now.
getting 2 T-shirts now. I gotta hit Andy up and get this last name. I asked him for the full name, and I took it because I saw like the bubble flashing. So I was like, oh, I'll just check it. And now I look foolish, but it's just Andy. Andy over in Allentown, PA.
Andy.
Now, for the record, folks, not all of the Andys who live in Allentown, PA are getting shirts.
Yeah.
Let's clarify that right now. I will get the specifics later on Andy, but definitely, as a matter of fact, I'm going to hit him up now.
If you're
but
an-
yes,
if
but you
you're
did
an
win.
Andy, yeah.
I'm going to put all caps. You won, asshole. Because that's what you get for not. Andy asshole. That's what I'm putting on the
Andy
parcel.
asshole.
That's what I'm putting on the parcel. Old Double A is getting a shirt down there soon. So thank you for contributing. He's another one. He's commented on a few things. So I like the fact that the names that are coming up are
It's all spread
repeat.
out,
It's
yeah.
all spread out. Yeah. So we've been having a lot of fun here on the show, man. This has been a great experience for me. I love being here. I wish I could be here every week.
Hey, yeah.
This would be great. But
live is fun.
live is fun.
No safety net. No, and I know you do very minimal editing. If that, you just go and
I
then,
one take a lot of my shit.
Yeah.
There's a few times, I'm not gonna lie. There's a few times where like I got stuck doing it really late. So I'm not drunk or anything. I haven't been drinking. I'm just legitimately tired.
Yeah, and you
so it's
just-
like 1 a.m. So I'll catch myself like I'll be sometimes. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'll like stifle a yawn while I'm talking. So I pause and then I like get the whole fucking thing out. I'm like, yawn, motherfucker. So it gets all out. Like I'm trying to like hit myself in the back of the head. Like, how do you force a yawn? I don't
you
know.
look at somebody else yawning.
Yeah, what? I get YouTube videos like a yawn compilation, 2015.
I'm sure someone has made a yawn.
I'm sure there
compilation.
is too. I think 1989 was the best yawn year of all time. So I got to go back and like look at the best yawners who's ever done it. But I was trying to like, so sometimes it gets really hard to like go the whole way through, but I have time to sit there and edit. So like, I've been doing this for years, getting in front of a microphone and just talking, and I'm in the privacy of my own home. So the only problem I have sometimes is sometimes I get too loud because my wife and my son are asleep. So I'm in the living room just fucking
Going
and
at
yeah,
it,
like
yeah.
it fucking raw, drop the rating, and my wife's like, babe, for real, for fucking
Trying
real.
to
I'm like,
sleep.
dude, yeah, I know. So it's hard, but anyway, we've been having such a great time talking about pro wrestling. Let's talk about some weird shit. Let's get some what the fuck.
Oh man, that's deep.
What in the fuck is he doing?
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
We have seen, well, on this show, I've done a few what the fuck's going on, man. What the fuck is happening segments. And the last one I did was Droopy Dicks, essentially, is what it was. You didn't hear?
I didn't hear Droopy Dicks.
So the last. The last what the
strange
fuck,
sentence.
the last what the hell happened was there's a truth.com commercial that came out, and it was basically the whole commercial was smoking will make you impotent.
Okay.
Essentially was the thing. So the cartoon, it was a cartoon commercial, and in the cartoon it was like a song, almost like the Oompa Loompa song, but it was like it rhymed. And in the video, every single time that the words got really sad, the dicks, they had like dancing dicks, and the dicks would droop. Like that, like they would like just to get the point across.
just,
that
this is what
you'd
we're
have
saying.
a very soft dick if you smoke, which I made very unvalid on that episode. It's like I smoked for many years.
It's still no problem.
Zero
Yeah.
problem fucking my wife.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've never had that issue. I can see where people can have some complications, but that percentage has to be very low.
Very low.
So and
it's
the
a
one
0% in this room.
right 0% in this room for sure. And in the one before that, my wife provided a what the fuck, which was I honestly can't remember. It was something about diseases. I don't know. It was weird shit. Anyway, so this one's not as gross as the other ones, but this one's definitely a what the fuck moment. Now, I'm going to fucking set the setting here, okay? Everybody in this room in particular has been on an airplane.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone in this situation here has been in an airplane. We've done some flights. Some flights are more pleasant than others, but everyone has a fear. Everyone has a concern. It's a flight. Very vulnerable in this situation. You're at the will of a madman, so to speak. One guy flying this fucking thing.
Giant metal.
So the
bird.
last thing you need on a plane is commotion and panic. Okay, so we fast forward here to a little company, Frontier Airlines. And this article came out yesterday. This whole situation happened yesterday. So this is very current. Okay, I didn't go, too far into the distance here. It's just happened yesterday. And Frontier Airlines had a flight 1612, leaving Orlando International Airport. And it was headed to Cleveland. Or so we thought. Yes. Dun, dun, dun. Everyone loaded the plane. They went in the usual faction, wheelchairs, army, all that stuff, and then A class, B class, C class, yada, yada. Well, there was a older woman, we'll say. What's her name here? Did they have her name? No, because they just had her as a passenger. And she got onto the plane. She had the right ticket, but she had an accommodation. The accommodation was she had an emotional, what was the word they used here?
Support?
Emotional support. Yes, emotional support animal. Now, when you think emotional support animals, what was the first thought you thought in your head earlier when we were talking about this?
Dog. I know several people who have dogs.
Seeing eye dogs, or just comfort. Some of these animals are, some of these dogs are treated almost like regular people, especially when it comes to these planes. The accommodations are great. But they do have some leeway. Dogs. There's cats.
Okay, makes sense.
The normal household pet situations. Okay, I think even bird is on the fucking list. I saw it a few times. This lady put accommodation and she put emotional support animal. She did not specify. No one thought anything crazy of it. She got on the plane. She got her bag on her lap. She's a wheelchair. Okay, so she got on. She was one of the first ones on. So she got all the way to her seat. All of the planes loading up. Plane's actually full, loaded up, ready to go. And she opens up her bag, and a fucking squirrel is in the bag. No lie, it's a fucking squirrel.
It's not a squirrel.
It's an emotional support squirrel. Yes. Well, that's what we're trying to get to here. That's the road we're passing to here. Is he's lost his fuck. He's beat red right now. Okay, so we're gonna continue the story here. So she pulls out her bag. Mind you, this squirrel is not caged or leashed or anything. It was in a fucking gym bag. A black, no lie, like a fucking zip up gym bag. Did no one see fast-paced movement in this bag whilst she was waiting for the gate to open? Because when you're about to board a plane, once they start calling classes, everyone just fucking stands up and starts walking toward the gate. So no one had any concerns about the lady in the wheelchair with the bag that just kept making fucking sounds.
And when you're standing there, you're looking at everybody. What is he?
When you're at an airport, you're fucking vigilant. Like you're looking around. You're securing yourself. Like you're on the ball here. No one picked up. Like, was this squirrel like sedated at some point? Like he made no noises, because squirrel's a pretty rapid fucking animal. Anyway, she got all the way to the fucking seat. The plane's fucking boarded, and she pulls this fucking squirrel out. Okay, so obviously the flight attendants have a concern, we'll say. So they start asking questions, and she's adamant that she's in the right here because she has a ticket with an emotional support animal permission on it. But the problem is that Frontier Airlines, much like every airline, has a listing. We just ran through it a little bit. Dog, cat, bird. Every airline has their own list of animals that would qualify under that criteria. Squirrel ain't on any of those fucking criterias.
Wait, you mean I can't have an emotional support rhino?
That's what you're getting the point here, okay? My emotional support fucking walrus can't come on the fucking plane with me. Earl's gonna have to find his own transportation to fucking Cleveland, is what we're trying to say here. So not only is she have a fucking gym bag with a fucking squirrel in it, she's the mad one. She's pissed, okay? She wants to go to fucking Cleveland, and her fucking squirrel's coming with her. That's just the end of it. So the flight attendants bring this issue to the pilot. The pilot addresses this. This is all protocol shit. Anybody who's been on a plane knows how this goes. Pilot comes, makes the last-ditch effort to see if she'll could either take the squirrel off and put it underneath, which would still be weird. I don't know why that was an option, because the squirrel's not caged.
Yeah,
It's just a
running
fucking
around.
gym bag.
Yeah.
It's not even a supported gym bag where it just stays in a rectangle the whole time. It's
like a
dented
loose-
in.
yeah.
So like if you put this luggage with other luggage, it's gonna be a dead emotional support animal. So they're
she
like,
can't
they're-
exactly just
they're
throw
giving
it
her
out
all
the
these
window
weird
either.
ass options, which by the way, she did not take. She didn't take any of these fucking options. This chick was going to Cleveland with her fucking squirrel, and that was the end of it. So the pilot got pissed and went back to the cockpit and called the law enforcement, called the police officers or whoever he needed to call because they have a passenger that needs to be escorted off the plane. Now, up until this point, weird, but not crazy, right? Here comes the crazy. So the pilot makes the decision that this lady has to get off the plane, at least till we can figure out what to do with the squirrel, but she's being very combative, we'll say. All right? She's resisting. You know how that goes for some people. For some. So they call law enforcement. Now, the protocol is that they can't arrest or they can't, pull anybody off. Otherwise, they're going to have another Asian guy situation with the doctor where they drag him off. So they don't want that fucking thing. So they have to evacuate the plane. They have to get everybody off the plane.
And everyone has to go first.
Yeah, everyone's loaded already, so they got to go row by row here and get everybody out of here. So, but they're doing it frantically. Like the people who I'm reading the article here, they were saying that people were but once they were back in the terminal, all she said was a squirrel. Yeah. So the overall vibe from the flight attendants is that they were they were frantic. Everyone had to get off. Grab your carry-on, please, and make your way to the... And they were just they were trying to do it timely, I guess. I guess the plan is if we can rectify the squirrel situation, we'll be able to get the plane going. So they absolutely, were trying to figure out a way to get her off the plane. But she was just not having it. So they're feverishly getting everybody off the plane. So far, no one on the plane knows it's a fucking squirrel situation. They're just being taken off the plane. So everyone's mind's fucking racing. Holy shit, what they find? What's going on? Yeah. Yes. Is there a bomb? Is there someone on the plane that's unsavory? What's happening here? And then they're all in the terminal now, and the cops are running into the plane. So they're like, holy shit, something's bad. Some people are considering leaving the airport altogether because they're like, this is crazy. And then they wheel the lady out, and no fucking lie, folks. I will post a link when I get out of here on my Facebook. The lady gets wheeled out in her wheelchair, and she has her fucking fist in the fucking air, and she's looking straight forward with her fucking squirrel bag, and she's just Jesse Owens, that motherfucker. She's like, I'm standing for my civil fucking rights, and the civil rights of my fucking squirrel, and we're not leaving this fucking place apart. Wherever we're going together. And they wheeled this chick off the plane, and everyone's fucking pissed. The article was written on as the perspective as one of the passengers. They were pissed. But then toward the end, all the people start realizing what a crazy fucking story, because they got her off, and once they got everybody back on, it was delayed obviously because of the squirrel thing, but they were able to fly over to Cleveland and everything worked itself out. But dude, a fucking squirrel, man. Emotional support squirrel.
I don't get it, especially since it's
How'd they meet? Was that a Craigslist purchase? How did she know that was the one?
She just grabbed it off a tree. He seems sensitive.
Oh my God. Listen, we got a call coming in right now. For those of you listening, we got a call right here. Crazy Squirrel Conversation. Join in. Who is this?
It's your boy Alex. What's good?
It's my boy Alex. How you doing, man? How you living?
And for anybody who's waiting on the line, we can only take one call at a time, so please be patient.
Listen, I'm gonna right after I'm done with Alex, I'm going right to you, man. Don't worry about it. It's my boy Alex. It's Big Alex, right?
Yes, Big Alex.
Big Alex. For those of you who don't know or didn't get a chance, he was on one of my episodes, and we told the story that my son is Alex. He's Alex, so my son refers to him as Big Alex, which means Little Alex, right? So, what's good, Paul Green? What you up to, man?
Nothing. About to leave this hellhole of a job,
Oh, yes. I'm not going to, since you described it like that, we are live. I'm not going to say where it is so you can keep going to your hellhole job because you just got married. You got a kid on the way, baby. You got to make that bread.
Very true. Very true. Just calling to support. I'm a big follower of you and your show, and, I love what you do, and always been a big support. You've been a good friend for 10 years now.
About, yeah.
Love what you do, brother. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
I was the last man standing in his eventual best man at his wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. That job went to 3 other people before it got to me, but I was the best.
You were the only choice.
Yes. Tell him about that promo, Paul Green. Tell him about that promo.
Yes, my boy AJ here. no prep time, shot 2 off the top of the head stories during the best man speech that had people in tears, had my wife looking at me like, oh my God, you're such a sensitive and caring dude. I'm glad I'm marrying you.
Putting you over. Put him over. Put him over like $1 million, bro. If you're gonna put over your friend, the best day to do it is his wedding.
Oh yeah,
that's the best time.
And you look great in that suit too.
Oh, I look good in every suit. Well, I'm gonna look better in suits once I drop this weight, brother. You wait and see, because he knew me back at a slimmer time too. He has seen me progress to this bulbous individual I am today. Hey, man, I got other callers, and I'm happy to actually say that sentence, but thank you so much for calling, boy.
Before you go, what would your emotional support animal be?
Yes, what would your... Yes, exactly. What animal would you choose to support you on an emotional level?
Oh, kind of a badass. I would want a tiger.
A tiger.
Tiger, all right.
That might make your flight situation a little tough, but definitely tiger would be really good.
I mean, but he wouldn't be a full-grown tiger on the plane. He'd be a cub tiger.
Just get a cat.
It is a cat, essentially, isn't it?
You know, he can paw at the flight attendants when they walk by. They don't bring me my snacks on time, you know.
All right, Paul Green. Thanks for calling, man. Thank you so much for supporting, brother.
Yo, you.
There it is. I love that
There you
sound.
go.
That's a beautiful
tried
sound.
to transition without having that happen, but you're on the air. What do you got?
We're live, baby. MESNradio.com. But you already knew that. You already know. If you're listening to me now, you know where I am. We have another caller.
Yeah.
All right, you're on the air, brother. Who is this?
ajorsini. It's the sexy
Son of a
saying, Eric
bitch.
Jaden.
It's the sexy saying Eric Jaden, my man, my main man, from back in the day. One of my closest friends in the industry, brother. Thanks for calling, man. What's up?
What's up, man? It's Colin, man. Just very, very proud of you, man. I can't believe the podcast is finally live, man, and you're doing your thing, and I'm just like...
Have you been listening to the show so far?
What's up?
Have you been listening to the show so far?
Of course.
How's it sound so far, brother?
It sounds absolutely great. You know, I always love your voice. It's just fucking, I almost used the F-bomb there. It sounds great.
You can use an F-bomb. It's uncensored, you bitch.
All right, I mean, when I cross, I'm a rated R, superstar, so I got to be very careful sometimes when I do some podcasts.
Well, for those of you listening for the first time or don't know, this is Orsini's Uncensored Mind is actually my second podcast. It's the first one I've done alone. The first one was with Eric Jaden. We were doing a TNA review show. Impact, what was it? Total Impact. Total Impact, yes.
Yep, Total Impact.
And we were co-hosts. And that show was the inspiration as to why I don't do phone interviews with guests.
Ah, okay.
Because we had so many complications with that show, and we were doing 2 hours with that one too. And we would do all these notes and do all these preps, and there would be weeks where because it was so much equipment, because he's calling on his phone, I'm calling on my phone, we have another person working aboard from somewhere else, so he's doing an audio thing. It was just a communication.
It's too much, yeah.
It was too much, so what happened is that it wouldn't cooperate. So there'd be weeks we didn't do a show at all.
Yeah.
So we'd have to do like a best of or like a repeat thing or like that. So those
now you don't have to worry about that.
Now I don't have to worry about that. Those trials and tribulations showed me the game, brother. So, hey, Eric, listen, I still want you as a guest, brother. We got to go in here and reunite one show.
Oh, man, when you're ready, let me know, and we just get together and let's set the airways on fire, baby.
No, I got one question before we let you go. Do I have another one, or do I have time? No? Okay, so I have one question for you before we let you go, because I have one more segment to get to before I start wrapping things up here. You are one of my few friends who I know for a fact went through some legal mumbo-jumbo when it comes to wrestling. As far as your gimmick and the things that you've been doing, I'm so proud of you and your progression from where you've started with, and we started together. And I remember what you started with to what you are now, and I'm so proud of everything that you're doing. But as a veteran, as somebody who's been doing this for a while, and you ran into that legal stuff, is there any advice you can give to the younger generation for those kids coming up to be conscientious of what they're doing legally when it comes to gimmicks and stories and ideas in the ring?
No, most definitely. Yeah. One of the things I want to emphasize, man, to all the young boys, all young workers coming up, is don't stress too much on the moves. Work on the gimmick.
Yeah, man, we just did 20 minutes on that shit earlier in this show, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been stressed lately, and like there was obviously a interview by the Undertaker that was released on YouTube, and he spoke about it.
The
And it's
exact
true. It's
clip,
almost
bro.
becoming like a-
That means you didn't hear the first hour, you fuck. You just
Oh,
played your hand.
I'm sorry. I reiterate it. You know, it's very important. But at the
No,
same
go ahead,
time,
please. It needs to be hammered in.
We
So
live
go
in a
ahead.
very it has to be hammered in, and we live in a society right now that that everything is basically under a microscope. You have social media right now, so all the young workers, and just be careful. You have a gimmick, work it. Put it out there. Put something different out there. But when you put something different out there, make sure you stay within the boundaries of good taste at times. Obviously, there's people out there like myself who do push the envelope, but I know when to push it and when to draw off. So all the young workers out there, just, stay clean, obviously. When you're working out, stay out of trouble with the law, and again, be original. Be original where you can. Create a gimmick, create a character, and tell a story.
Don't be afraid to be original, which is important, because I think sometimes people feel like they have to pull back the reins. The positives of independent wrestling is that you don't have as many handcuffs as you would if you were on TV every week or pay-per-view and all that stuff. So you can change direction. You're living proof of that. The gimmick that you had when you started was something you felt, but you altered over time because you altered, you evolved as a person, which then made you evolve as a gimmick. And now you went from one guy who happened to be in a team with another guy, and now you're a champion, you're the leader of your own stable, you're doing your own thing. You're not just leading by example, you're leading in the ring, you're leading emotionally, you're a locker room guy. That's what always, not to say an incorrect word here, but attracted me to you in the first place. Because, exactly. Is he coming out now? No. I've always been a great friend of yours because we always took this business very seriously. We're both very passionate about it.
Yes.
And we've been down a lot of heavy roads, me and you, both professionally and personally. I'm not going to get into specifics, but Hurricane Sandy was a big moment for the two of us. You remember that?
A big moment, people. And I just want to stress real quick before I know I don't want to cut your time.
Yeah.
AJ Orsini is not only a good friend of mine out people, not even a fellow co-worker in the wrestling world. He's also like a godfather to me, where he's talking about how he evolves, and I've been afraid, and I called him up and asked for his advice, and he's pushed me. He's even pushed me where I didn't want to become a champion, and I went up to him and asked him, should I do it, and he has pushed me. On top of that, when he's speaking about Hurricane Sandy people, he was one of the guys who actually came out and donated stuff for me because my home was practically lost, and I lost a lot of stuff during Hurricane Sandy. So AJ Orsini will always be like top aces in my book. And if you people listen to a show, you're just getting pretty much a small glimpse of how talented this individual is and how a human being he is.
Thank you, Eric. I didn't want to go into specifics. I didn't know how you felt about that, but those are some of the specifics that happened. And I've been trying so hard not to be emotional this entire time. I almost made it. I'm at 7:42. You trying to crack me, fucker?
Well, you know what? You earned it, brother. You earned it. You really do. I'm going to tell you something. Like, again, a lot of people, new listeners, new followers, or people that follow you out, they don't know a lot of the history on AJ Orsini. I can tell you people right now is you're listening to one of the top guys right now in podcasting, in wrestling, and he comes from a very, very humble beginning. And what I love about AJ, and this is why we continue to have a good relationship, we follow one of the cardinal rules in wrestling: always be humble. Always be humbled. And AJ Orsini is a epitome of humbleness. And I love you to death. You know that.
I love you too, brother. I got to let you go. But thanks for calling. Thanks for showing your support, man.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. You know it. You know you're going to get a bunch of fucking sad emojis in your messages when this is over.
What's crazy is I actually have history with him as well.
Yes.
We both appeared on the same radio show probably a couple months ago.
Yes.
In Rockaway.
In Rockaway, you guys got a chance to meet.
Yeah,
it's so
great
funny.
Guy.
It's so funny because that night you guys met. Like, he messaged me and said, "Oh, I just met Stephen James," and then you messaged me and said, "I just met Eric Jaden."
Yeah.
Like in 2 seconds, I was like, "Y'all motherfuckers should have just got together and just did a mass text for that shit."
Yeah.
I got some other topics here to get to, but we're running a little short on time. I have a third T-shirt to give away.
Oh.
We didn't get to a seventh caller, but that's fine because you can still get a chance at those 2 tickets within the course of the evening. We'll be selecting, since we still have leftover names from the raffle, maybe we'll select from that, and then we'll give those 2 tickets out there. But that's fine. Listen, the calling thing was an extra function. I'm going to be honest with you. I came set for a 2-hour show without a call.
And you
so
were
the fact that I got a few was still pretty good.
You're at 5 total.
5 total. See, so here we go. So unless somebody out there is listening right now is like waiting for that one asshole to call, so that they hurry up and call, so I can get free shit.
I want it.
But speaking of free shit, I do have a third T-shirt to hand out, and we pulled these randomly, so I didn't have any vested interest. I'm the one paying for the shirts, so I don't give a shit who got a shirt. I really didn't. But I'm happy with the choices that have been made so far. The third choice makes me even happier because it's a young lady that I do know actually pretty well, who is in New York.
Wow.
Who has supported me literally from moment one. She shares all my shit. She's one of the OGs of the show. She's been liking it since episode 1. She's always been cool to me. We've worked together in wrestling shows in the past. She's retired now. This is a while ago. But that's how we first met. So she's definitely been a fan of mine, and I've been a fan of hers for forever. So Janice Ortiz over in the Bronx, she gets a shirt from me. Courtesy of me, from me, with me on the shirt. So it's like a meception thing going on. And thank you so much for supporting. She's been awesome. She even the live video I did before I went on, like a bunch of shit. So those are the 3 winners. Woo! Brian in Kansas, Andy in PA, and Janice over in New York. That's a nice little array.
Congrats,
like it's not all in the same place. It makes me sound important when I have different people raffling on.
Yeah, when you posted like
if you listen to Eric Jaden, I'm like the greatest human being who's ever lived.
There you
like
go.
There's me, Jesus, and like maybe Steve Martin.
The
is
guy,
my third.
The guy who invented the air conditioner, he's got to be up there.
Listen, if he didn't get a blowjob the next day, it's a sin. I don't understand.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Your bitch ass can stay hot then. You can go into the hut.
We had ice boxes before that.
Oh yeah, the old school. You just waft the cool the fumes. Was it coming?
Yeah, we'll go with fumes. Yeah.
Well, squiggly lines in comic books. You just move those things over. There's a couple of things. All right, so we addressed the shirts. We got our 3 winners. The Capital Wrestling tickets we'll discuss at a later date, but trust me, there's still an opportunity for you guys to get in on that. And that's pretty much all. I do have one more topic I can squeeze. I had a lot of other stuff, but the calls, thankfully, the calls came in. So one of them was going to be an angry conversation, so I'll save that bitch for next week since there's still time. It was about evolution, and I've been complaining a lot on the show about evolution, so I'm going to give it a break this week. It's a joyous day, but they did some goofy shit on Raw with this card shifting shit around that that I have to, because after I'm seeing no, I'm not going to do it to myself. I'm not going down this rabbit hole. I only got about 15 minutes, but I do want to talk a little bit about something that I rarely ever talk about on my show when there's a reason for that. I'm going to talk a little Impact Wrestling right now. The reason for that, it's a little selfish, reasoning. Their biggest show, Bound for Glory, takes place here in New York. It's going to be at the Melrose Ballroom this Sunday? No, Saturday. I think it's the 14th.
Saturday, yeah.
I know it's the 14th. I just can't figure it out.
No, that's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
The 14th is Sunday.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I know the date. I was just fuzzy on the day because I get confused on days because the reason why I'm promoting this is, of course, LAX, Santana and Ortiz, good friends of mine. I stay away from Impact Wrestling because it's personal for me. Before, when it was just TNA and it was just guys that I admired and looked at their work and enjoyed, it was different. I'm able to go out there and just watch it and be non-biased. LAX are 2 guys that I grew up in this business with. I knew them. I mean, I'm going to tell the story when I get them on the show, but Santana was a phone call away from quitting the business altogether. And I wasn't the one that made the phone call. He made it to a personal friend. I just happened to be around when it happened. It was a 3-hour conversation that essentially saved his career. And the same thing with Ortiz. Ortiz is a very driven individual, but he ran into some bullshit, we'll say, more wrestling bullshit early in his career, and he almost walked away. So for the 2 of them to have gone through all this shit they have gone through in life to be where they are now, both of them are now fathers. They're leaders in the industry now, as opposed to those 2 kids that used to beat the shit out of me in Joel's ring for forever. and now like there's these big stars and they're doing this big thing. So they've been very helpful to me, and they've been very helpful to me in my my career. And they don't need me to promote them. They're a part of this big machine. But I wanted to let my fans out there know, please check your show out. There's this stigma that is attached to the Impact Wrestling thing. You and I were talking about it off air. You guys really got to start giving this show as a whole a chance. And this will be a good time to do that. This is going to be a big show. Their best talent's going to be on display. You can go to impactwrestling.com to check out more information on viewing it. The show is sold out, but you can find out where to see the show by going to impactwrestling.com. I'm going to squeeze in one more call because I love the fact that I have calls, so I'm going to squeeze that in. Who's on the line there with me?
You better squeeze this call in.
Who am I speaking to here?
You know who you're speaking to.
Okay.
You don't recognize the voice? Come on, man. You're hurting me right now.
Who's this? Who's this
Dude,
guy?
We lived together for like 18 years.
It's that guy. Who's it?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Making in a phone call real quick. Don't mean to interrupt you. I'll have to listen to it later. Just wanted to say happy anniversary. I'm at work right now, so.
Oh, you're at work right now, bro?
Yeah.
You went back to work? Weren't you just like in a situation like a day ago? And you're back at work?
Huh?
Are you even comfortable at work right now? Like based on what's been going on the last 48 hours?
Oh, no, don't worry about it. That was just heartburn. We good.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, my brother had a little situation. This is my brother, by the way, guys. I'm fucking with him.
Nice, the brother of O.
Yes, the brother of O, yes. This is my brother David. Thanks for calling, man. I know you got a lot of stuff going on.
I'm
man.
live from the sales floor of Lowe's. So
there it is.
I'll just give you a call and just say what's up. And I'm going to have to listen to it later because unfortunately I've been busy and I haven't been a chance to sneak away and listen. So
that's fine. I actually haven't had a chance to say this because I've just been so in the mode of the show. Everything that took place tonight, the entire show is being emailed to me either tonight or tomorrow. It will be uploaded tomorrow night on the usual website, ajoum.podbean.com. So if you missed it, if you like Eric, who commented after the fact, you guys can still catch the show this week. I'm not missing a week. The commitment continues. So it'll just be going up tomorrow. That's all.
All right, dude. Well, I just wanted to call in and say congratulations and everything.
All right, no problem. Thank you, bro. I lived with him for 18 years or so. A lot longer than that.
18 years, wow.
Listen, that's a story for another day, but 18, I was out.
Yeah.
Of my house. I was out. I could not.
I feel it. I joined the army.
Now, here's the other start of the see, but you were smart. You had a plan. I didn't. I left.
That's a plan?
Yeah, well, here's my plan. 18. I'm out. I'm out basically just means I went to grandma's house. That's what that was.
Got it.
But grandma lives here in New York. My mother was living in South Jersey.
Yeah.
I was there for a year or two, and I was back at home. Because I had failed.
Got it, yeah.
Because I had failed. I had no plan. I was determined to leave, and I was so determined I didn't even plan for the leave. Now, here's the fucked up part. In those 2 years I was in New York, that's when I met Steph.
Yeah. So your
I
life
left.
was enriched.
Yeah.
by it.
I left, but I ended up coming back to New York. It's a whole deal. I get into another day. I only got a few minutes left here, but really? Another one?
You got another one. And this would be number 7.
This is 7. All right, so who's this?
Hello.
Hello? Who's this? Is this Kara?
Congratulations.
Is this Kara?
No.
Oh, see? My brother was just fucking with me about voices.
He set you up.
But I knew all along that it was my brother, just like I know that this is Kara. Kara, how are you doing?
I'm not Kara.
You're not Kara. Who's this?
No. Wait.
I'm sorry?
Who is this?
Who is this? It's scary. Who is this?
Your sister.
Listen. I know exactly who this is. Hold on. Listen. From now on, for the rest of your life, I want you to commit to the idea that your name is Kara now. Now listen. It's financially going to be a burden, and I'm sure it's one you're willing to carry. But you now have to change your name to Kara King.
Who is that?
Kara's a friend of mine. She told me she was going to call. I just thought it was. I heard a female voice and just went to Kara.
Los Santos.
See, this is why I'm married. I can't restart dating again. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
What's up, Wayne?
No, but congratulations.
Thank you, Pooh Bear. Thank you, Pooh Bear.
You're welcome.
This is my youngest sister. She's the fourth of the one of four.
Fourth of the one of four.
And the only sister who gives a shit about me because the other one cut me off.
I'm in that
I'm
boat.
getting ready for bed, so I was like, let me call in and listen.
It's the perfect time to listen to my show. Sleepy.
I've been up since 5 a.m.
At least you took the time. At least you took the time. Thank you so much.
Yes, no problem. Have a good show.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm getting ready to wrap it up, so you'll get a chance to listen to it tomorrow night if you go to ajoum.podbean.com.
All right, I'm on it.
There you go. Thanks, Rady.
All right.
Share the shit.
All right, good night.
All right, good night. Buy a shirt. All right. This has been a fun night. Thank you so much, Steve, for
absolutely.
for inviting me here, and for Pombo for finally showing up somewhere toward the end there. You came at the best time, brother, because I'm going to wrap this whole thing up, and I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a very long time, and there's a reason for that, because I'm in promo mode right now. I'm going to lock this shit in. Let me see, what's the clock say? I got about 6 minutes or so.
6 minutes?
Six-ish minutes, and I just wanted to just really quickly just get this stuff out of here. Again, ajoum.podbean.com for the episode, and for all the episodes. This is episode 56. I will be bequeathing onto you this episode tomorrow night. I will be heading to the House of O. See, you got me all fucked up with the comic book thing. Later on the night with more editing to do for some other stuff. I am being recorded right now for video purposes. Some of that will make its way to the YouTube channel at some point. So I got a lot of things going on, all the platforms. I say it every time an achievement takes place. I'll say it again. Thank you so much for everything all of you have done for me. The 15 countries, the 2,000 downloads, the sharing, the liking, literally everything, just making this a bigger project than I thought it was going to be, because to be honest with you, I say it all the time. I said it in the first episode. Everything that I did was liquid in the beginning, because I didn't know what was going to work. I didn't know what was going to stick. I didn't know who people were going to like. I didn't know what they were going to dislike. It's like this whole head fuck thing that happens to you when you first start in podcasting and start broadcasting your own voice and your own opinions. And I'm probably sitting here right now as nervous as I was when I started. I feel great right now because I just wanted it to sound good. I'm never nervous in front of a microphone. Everyone in this room knows that. I can do this shit with my eyes closed. I just want people to like it. And I feel like this might have been the best episode I ever did. And that's just because I feel great. If you listen to this episode and then immediately listen to episode 1, it's going to be a tale of two different fucking worlds. And that's just the growth that I've had just plowing through this. I've learned how to structure shows. I've learned how to segment shows. I've learned how to do audio drops. I've learned so much in this year. I can only hope that on the 2nd year anniversary, which is a complete contrast. When I started this, I didn't think I'd make a year. I'm going to be honest with you. I really didn't. I didn't sit here cocky as shit going, man, this is going to be a hit right off the back, because it was slow going in the beginning of this motherfucker. Slow going. It's always slow going. And I gave Negro the credit for that in the beginning. He was the jumpstart. After that, people started listening, and then the GOAT came, and then everything just spiraled into something great. So I want to thank you guys. But the promo part of this ending that I'm going to give you guys right now, and this is coming directly from me, it's coming directly from my heart, is something that I've been thinking about for the last 2 days. I booked the studio like 2 weeks ago, but for the last 2 days, there's been a lot of stuff going on. My brother was just on the air right now. He was in the hospital for 48 hours. He just got back home like yesterday night. So the fact that he's back on the floor of Lowell's is amazing to me. But that's just a testament to what we do and who we are. My wife's grandmother is in the hospital. Well, not hospital. She's in a nursing home. She had a health situation in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria. So, and then I'm going to school. I'm taking 3 classes at the moment. I'm working full time. I'm a father. I have a lot on my plate. So when I do these shows, and I open my show by going, oh, like, you guys have no idea how therapeutic my show ends up being for me, because I literally have no time to breathe. When I leave here, I have to go do math homework. Like, that's how I'm probably going to do it on the bus right back. But that's how much shit is going on in my life, and not all positive. It's work, it's deaths, it's sickness, it's all kinds of shit, like a shit storm of things coming at me all at once, almost on a daily basis. And I have not missed 1 week of this show for a full year. I released it October 11, 2017. I'm releasing on October 11, 2018. When I was a kid and I really wanted to be in the business, I don't have the similar story everyone else has. I didn't have a finger in my face telling me I couldn't do it. I didn't have a finger in my face telling me that you don't have talent, you're too small, you're too dumb. I had the opposite. Everyone just knew from when I was a baby till now that this is what I was going to do. The problem I had when I was a kid was I didn't have the want to do it. I was lazy, and I sat on my ass. And everything that came to me, I blamed on everybody else. And even though I spent my whole life helping other people, I always did it when I was a kid. I did it with a point. I'm not here because of you. I'm not here because I'm helping you. I'm not here because everything that I do has to be for you. I can't do for me. And I did it for so long that finally I get a project to myself. I finally get a project that is essentially for me, and I can't even bear the thought of not doing it with other people. And that's why this is supposed to be a celebration of the show. It's not a celebration for ajorsini. I know my wife wants it to be that way. I know my family wants it to be that way. You heard the words from Eric Jaden. I have worked very, very hard for the respect that I have in this business. And I don't really know how far that respect reaches out. And that's a testament to my humbleness, because I don't care. I find out when I encounter people how much respect I actually have. And for someone who used to be a caregiver to other people, who then, when relying upon himself, failed so miserably that he couldn't eat. I had to sleep on trains. I had to sleep on park benches. I had no money in my pocket. And yet still my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, didn't care and stuck with me and pushed me and made me become the man that I was supposed to be. And without her and without the people that's very close in a circle of mine, without them, I would not be here. I would not be AJ Orsini. I would not be the host of Orsini's Uncensored Mind. I'd be fucking nothing. I would be nothing. So for this to be an AJ production, I won't have it. It's not the way that it's supposed to be. Everyone within the sound of my voice, you're all in the squad of O. Everyone in the sound of my voice, whether you're a fan of me, believe me, I'm a fan of you. I respect you. I love you for everything you've done for me. I would not be here without the people around me. So when I say this last line, know that it comes from a place of passion and love. Know that I mean every fucking second that I am saying to you that this year was just the fucking beginning. That I am just really getting started. This ain't the last time I'm going to be in this studio. This ain't the last time I'm going to be working with Steve. This ain't the last time I'm going to be working with Pombo. And the next fucking anniversary show, the team that's going to be in this room is going to be a whole lot bigger. It's going to be a whole lot better. And the show is going to be so much more entertaining. I have things coming up in the next few weeks for this show. Fuck a year. I can start being better tomorrow. And that's what you guys should take from this show. Whether I teach you, whether you learn it on your own, do. Fucking do. Get off of your ass and fucking do. There's no shortcut to this shit. Believe me, I tried to find it. I couldn't get there. The only way I was able to get here was to plow through the shit and fucking do it. I didn't have anyone to blame for myself. Those late nights where I edited the show, that was fucking me. Those early mornings where I had to do the show, that was fucking me. Me doing. And I can sit here and say me, but believe me, in my brain, it's we. We did this tonight. The 1-year anniversary is supposed to be celebrated by everybody. Whether you're listening to me, whether you're typing on social media, whether you're emailing me, messaging me, I don't care. So when I say this last line, know that it comes from a place of peace, love, and I love every single one of you. Thank you, and believe me, we are just getting started. So thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for sharing, and most importantly, thank you for enjoying. Good night, and enjoy the episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, the answer to your prayers is here.
You're listening to the King of New York, EC Negro, El Rey, all day.
This is Colossal Mike Law.
What's up, everybody? This is the rock god, Ronnie Burton.
My name is Ariella Nix.
You're listening to the absolute Chris Cage.
To the superstar Whiplash.
Silver Queen Ivy Roman.
And for the King of Monsters Rays, we are the greatest of all time.
And you're listening to...
And you, yes you, are listening to our...
And you are listening to the hottest new podcast in the game.
My main man, AJ Orsini. Orsini.
To Orsini's.
To Orsini's.
Orsini's.
And you're listening to Orsini's Uncensored Mind. Now let's open up this fucking pit.
Anyway, house. Listen to my daddy so. Orsini's Uncensored Mind.